What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 27, part 2 of the pre-patch podcast.
Technically it's 1.5.
Technically it's 1.5, but still, Scruffy's camera is still fucked because so it doesn't matter.
Oh
He's still stuck in cyberspace. But
wait, am I really?
100%, you're still stuck in cyberspace, bro. This is what happens when Bill's not here. The whole thing fucking breaks down. Bill, you can no longer take any more vacations, bro. This is your fault. I'm blaming you.
You can't leave anymore.
I'm blaming you. So, but welcome in, everybody. Welcome to, like I said, episode number 27.5, however you want to consider it, of the best, most scuffed, most realistic podcast on the goddamn internet. And him leaving fucks up every scene when he does this. So now I'm over on Scruffy's side and Scruffy's on my side. But if you're listening to this on Spotify, which I hopefully that you are, what's going on? You guys don't have to experience this. So, but if you want to experience it live, you can do that. !show in the channel, which is the links to that. But you can actually come check us out on YouTube over here on my stream, whether if you want to see me live and handle it over here, or you can see it on Scruffy's stream or normally on Bill's stream. We're all over the Twitch verse. And like I said, if you hit !show in both chats, then you can actually participate in both channels and see from different perspectives and all that kind of great stuff. But we do host this live every other Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, give or take a couple of minutes depending on how Discord wants to act. But we host this live. We encourage you guys, please show up, come and be part of our live chat. We keep chat open so you guys can engage in all of the humor, and if you're here, you get to see the back end shenanigans that make up this show and why it makes it so great.
There was a lot of them.
there were a lot. But as always, we power through it, and we wouldn't be the pre-patch team if we didn't have these types of moments. But I can't do this alone. I've got to have my crew, even though we're one man short. It's okay. Family over everything is the most important. But like I said, I couldn't do it alone. We've got Enigma and we've got Scruffy all here tonight. What's going on, boys?
What up? What up? I hope I'm here.
I mean,
I'm here for now.
Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
Enigma? Yeah, you are.
I'm here. I am here indeed.
And just so everyone kind of knows, but not on like a more like serious note, but we guys like to involve you guys in the pre-patch family, right? Please send out some good, whether it's prayers, whether it's vibes, whether it's thoughts, whether it's whatever else for Enigma and his family. They've got some.
We got the vid.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say it. I don't know if you wanted it out there, but
I mean, I don't really care.
Homeboy is vid it all up. He's got the co. So, but we wish him the best of luck and hope that he gets better and all that kind of good stuff. So please can put that out there, please, for him. But yeah, and Bill, obviously, Bill is not here. He is, like I said, with family. And doing that kind of thing, taking a much needed break, which we always recommend, whether you're, content creator, whether you're at work, whether you're just in the world or whatever else, it's always good to just disconnect and take a break. And so
I figured out why we're so scuffed today.
It's
not because of the vid. It's not because we're rusty or anything like that, because we haven't done the podcast in a couple of weeks, right? Like last week was the first one, or the last one was our first one back, right? It's because Bill shaved off his fucking beard.
Yeah, I know.
It could be.
Bad luck,
man. It is. I mean, Bill, you need to fucking grow that thing back ASAP, bro. We can't be kicking off 2021 with
my beard cannot be the only beard.
Excuse me.
Only long beard.
Right.
Sir, long beard.
We can't have the only beards.
Excuse me. You see this takes a lot of effort, right? This is not just something that like you guys just fucking. Well, everybody minus Scruffy. Scruffy can barely grow. Like if he gets dirt on his face, it looks more like a beard than what he's got. This is a fucking beard. And let me tell you something. You guys just let that shit just go, right? And then you trim. I'm not saying you don't trim it up. I'm not saying you don't. But having something that looks this good, right? Takes time. It takes work. It takes precision to make sure that you're all lined up. That you're all lined up. Absolutely not. Nobody touches my face except for me.
Yeah, but you can't beard it into layered braids or anything like that.
I don't want to do no goddamn layered braids. What do I look like, a Viking?
Right there,
no, bro.
I mean, you could be.
See, the problem is I'm Jewish. If I do that, then I'm
You
a
could be a Jewish
then
Viking.
no. Then we're Hasidic Jews, and then I gotta not wear deodorant. There's a whole other thing with that, man. It's just it's just no
You'll be smelling through the cans.
bueno. So with that in mind, this is we gotta bring that beard back, Billy Boo. So hurry up. 2021 can't kick off that way. But we got a lot to talk about. We want to go. I mean, it's a chock full show. And we got some stuff to get to. New games that we've been playing. Including Lost Ark. We started playing 7 Days to Die. We got a whole bunch of stuff there. We got stuff coming from the Hitman 3 coming out. We got the stonks are all over the place.
Stonks.
To ESO's new stuff, to Biomutant stuff, and obviously Twitch and Twitch drama. I don't know if YouTube drama. I don't know if there's any YouTube drama this week. Not that I know of. I think YouTube kind of kept it.
YouTube drama is more low key. Honestly,
I remember there was something, but I didn't know if we wanted to bring it up because it's kind of like a YouTube and Twitch drama. So,
what would that be?
That chick that was berating the cancer patient.
I didn't even hear about this. No, what is this?
There's apparently some YouTuber and Twitch streamer. She's not very popular, but she was on Omegle, berating a cancer patient, calling him all kinds of names, telling him he was a virgin. Wow. I'm sorry, we can't say that.
Oh, over here you can.
A sextant. He was and then commenting about his wig and shit. Just a terrible person, man. Just like it's the kind of people that you're like, man, if there's anybody that should get cancer, it's you.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Damn. Words were said.
Yeah. All right. I think it's that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And actually, you know what? I will say there is some YouTube drama out there, and I think this kind of goes across with both sides, right? So, obviously, I think since the last time we did the show, absolutely, 100% since the last time we did the show, we have a new president, right? So whole big thing, and obviously the inauguration, and it was streamed across both platforms. There's that. The issue that kind of came up in the drama that's there that is on YouTube, as well as I think on any social media platform or anything like that, is I think just the silencing of certain people if you don't agree with it, and where there were some all right, Scruff's gone. Scruff's back. There was some far right sides
just leave it.
that were banned or whatever else, or silenced and whatnot. I think that's kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is the time, especially, when we're, looking at anything, whether it's, you don't believe in it, whether it's, political or not political, or, eco or not, or whatever else. Like, free speech is free speech, and that's what it should be. Like, it should not be a situation of, silencing someone because you think or you disagree with their opinion. I think it's a very dangerous road to go down. If you're going to start doing those kind of things. So there were a lot of right. I don't want to say that they're all right wing, but there were definitely a majority of right wing, YouTube channels and social media channels that were taken down, which is kind of crazy. So just remember, guys, freedom of speech is something that allows us to do what we do, right? It's allowing us to do these podcasts. It allows us to have a voice, whether you disagree or not. And I think that honestly, and I think I can probably speak for everybody on this show, is that conversation pieces need to be had, and opinions should be spoken to, and discussions. In fact, myself and Enigma have multiple conversations in a channel with two other streamers. I'm not going to mention their names. We just sit in Discord and honestly have a very open discussion about different views, opinions. And I think that they're very productive. I mean, Enigma, I can't speak for yourself, but I think they're very productive. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think we cover kind of a lot of the range of political views, but
so
we don't degrade into yelling matches and screaming matches. So.
Right. So
just keep the respect between the between everybody, and you'll be all right.
Yep, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, don't go into name calling, don't go into throwing shade and stuff like that, and keep it all civil. It's the best way of handling any kind of discussion. But Twitch drama is basically that they awarded for the most raids. So if you guys were here, right? If you guys streamed in or viewed in 2020, you got something from Twitch, and cool concept. Like I think, you know, kudos to Twitch. I think we can all agree that, you know, I think this was a step in a good direction.
I honestly wouldn't even call this drama either.
No.
I think this is just stupidity. Twitch stupidity.
Yeah,
I think it's not. Yeah, it's not necessarily drama. I think I think you're right. I think it's one of those things where it's just like, is this really a thing? And the drama is that they gave an award for most raids to a bot. Like,
about that everyone knows too.
In fact, you'll probably even see it unless you guys have like removed it. It's in most chats. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's not in mine right now, but I can tell you, like, it's there, like,
It's
100,
there
like,
pretty much,
99% of the time.
What bot is this?
Electrical
longboard. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you've seen it before.
Oh yeah,
sure
no, I know that. I know
sees
that.
it in the chat, like, thinks, who's this? Am I always here? It's like, no, it's just a bot.
Yeah. But I think the thing about it too that is a little shocking is just when they put this together, and I think that it's not, again, drama, but it's just more or less of like, is someone at Twitch reviewing this shit before it goes out? Because obviously the raid award going to a bot, and then on top of that, like, Scruffy, I think you had one that came down and said like you were in your top 3, like for most watched channel.
It was when they pushed out like the top 3 like channels watched, all those like the, what was it, 2020 Wrapped or whatever for Twitch. My most channel like watch time for my second was myself. It's like, you know, you would think that they would think of that ahead of time and, you know, factor you out of the analytics. And I think that's just another similar like situation with this, is like you would think they would like take bots and all their own bots, their Twitch bots, into account for this.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. It's just
it just really kind of falls back onto that same principle. Like we don't want to. I don't want to continue to rag on Twitch left and right, but it's like we've talked about it in the past, where it's like, do they actually use their own service? Like, the people that are in charge, do they actually know what the fuck is going on Twitch?
Right. It's like, I like the ideas they have. Like, they've had some pretty good ideas and pretty good things like they've done recently. It just, I don't think they're putting the effort to make them actually like good or really review them very well. It's just they're pushing it out.
I mean, and I think that's any of these companies, you know, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's, you know, Twitch, you know, from a streaming standpoint, you know, Twitch, as far as like usability, functionality, or whatever else, is up here, right? And then you've got, you know, YouTube and then Facebook, or YouTube and Facebook at the same level. But nobody at any of these companies are born and bred content creators or streamers or whatever else. Like what Twitch used to be, that's what Justin TV used to be, right? And that's why a lot of people say that was the heyday of content creation. You know, when change was happening for a reason, whatever else. But like, think about like this, the community, whatever committee that was put together, the safety and council community. What have they done? What have they done? And fucking that was nothing but a publicity stunt. Like,
didn't they get disbanded, or are they still?
Yeah, the safety council, I think, got disbanded.
Yeah, so they were around for a year.
Scruffy.
Scruff, just keep your camera off.
Just keep the camera off, bud. Almost it's kicking you.
Let me move my shit around so it makes sense. But yeah, okay. It's like one of those things where it doesn't really make sense. And I swear to God, I think it was a publicity stunt. Like I think that was the whole purpose of them being around. You know what I mean? And so it's those kind of things of like, why not just take a second, take a step back, and let's really think about, is this needed? And before some shit goes out, don't fucking just let it go to the wind. Like, actually check it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I think that's the problem. And I think Elon Musk actually said it best whenever he came out and he was like, a lot of the problems with companies nowadays is that they are not willing to take a risk. They're not willing to take a jump. They're not willing to do what is needed to push and drive their company forward and to go all in. You know, and because of that, they're run by people that are scared, people that have a bunch of MBAs and all these other kind of degrees, but they're not necessarily 100% the best person to run a company. You know, so you know, it's interesting. Needless to say, it's an interesting kind of concept, but Scruff, you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, great.
My cam
Just
ain't
making sure.
working.
So moving from that, we go into, well, we'll just run into the line. I want to just bounce around or whatever else, but Biomutant. You guys are excited about Biomutant. Please tell me, like, I've heard the word Biomutant, but like, Biomutant, tell me what it is.
Well, I think you probably know a little bit more about it than I do, Enigma.
I wouldn't say
I
that.
mean, I don't know if
mean,
anyone knows like a lot about
that's
Biomutant.
yeah. That's the worst part about it is
Yeah.
like it's had very little actually like advertised about it, which is what kind of caught me off guard for the actual announcement right here, right? So the big announcement is the Biomutant. We finally have a. You guys will have to forgive me. I'm having a hard time keeping my breath, but we have an announcement date for Biomutant, which is not something I thought that we would see
Especially so soon.
ever. Yeah, in some cases, but yeah, May 25th of this year, apparently Biomutant is coming out on I think Xbox, PS5, and PC. Both I believe it's on both Epic and Steam. Which is big because like again, like I said, Biomutant is a very interesting game in and of itself. It's basically like a action adventure with like a very unique system in it where you can like mutate your character. From what I understand, at least again, there's not very much on the game right now, other than the few videos that we've seen. But it has a very unique, almost Monster Hunter esque uh, combat system, which I find is very interesting for me.
What was that game that had that's like Beyond Good and Evil? No, Beyond Evil. Beyond Evil. Is that the one that's like not bit like the Beyond Evil 2 or whatever else is like that fabled game that like people talk about all the time, but it's never come out. It's got like a pig for a protagonist. You know what I'm talking about? It's got the
I
girl.
think so.
I'm pretty sure it's Beyond Evil 2
Beyond
or
Good and Evil.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Biomutant to me is kind of like in that same vein of like, is this a real thing? Is it really going to happen or whatever else? And I mean, I guess I don't think it's actually going to hit this date. I really don't. Like, I think that it's actually going to.
I don't know. We'll see because like again, like I said, I've been following Biomutant since probably 2000 and
It was announced in I think 2015.
15, somewhere around there. Yeah.
15. I'm pretty sure that's when the development like started and was like officially announced.
Yeah, and
it might have started a little sooner, but
it's been pretty much radio silent ever since,
yeah,
more or less.
which honestly I kind of think is a good thing. That's
So do
the
I.
route that I think games should go. You know, of course, like don't be like a complete Elden Ring.
Yeah, I mean,
give a little bit of like like kind of show of what the game is and everything, but I don't think.
I mean, with
like with
Biomutant, at least
Cyberpunk.
we do have like a gameplay. It's an
Yeah.
old gameplay trailer, and I believe that they might have put one out
But there's
last year or the
something.
year before that. But there is something, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think it should be. You know, don't pull like a Cyberpunk and throw all your cards on the table, because then you're gonna start building a lot of false expectations, and that's when I think things get dicey, especially with the launch date this soon. That's what I'm really scared about.
So I'm happy that you brought up Cyberpunk. So I have a question, and I really do. And you guys know that I enjoy. I like Cyberpunk. I'm in Cyberpunk's camp. Like I'm, waving that flag.
Right.
A question for you, because I watched a documentary about ET and Atari. Is this generation's ET? Like, is Cyberpunk 2077 like this? The ET debacle that happened with Atari Reborn, and do you guys know what I'm talking about with ET, like the ET debacle?
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Wasn't that game like a bomb fire or something?
So here's the thing about ET, right? So ET came out, and it was touted as like this, it was gonna be a great game, whatever else, and like had all this hype around it. It shipped, and it was like it just bombed. I mean, they shipped tons and tons and tons of carts, right? And it didn't sell anywhere close. And then on top of that, because it didn't sell, they actually started shipping carts back to the studio, right? Or back to Atari. Atari had hundreds of thousands of these things, and so and it's confirmed now if you watch the documentary, they actually drove out to the middle of Alamogordo in Arizona or New Mexico and dumped these carts in a landfill. And so, and they found him. They found like they did a dig, I think, a couple years ago, and they actually found him. And it was made in 6 weeks. So I'm not saying all that kind of stuff. Like I'm not saying like because it was made in 6 weeks and all those or whatever else, like equating it to that. But if you look at like it's no longer available on the PlayStation Store, everybody's offering returns on it. You know, and really the development time cycle of like the crunch that kind of happened to get this game out, right? Is it this generation's ET? You know what I mean? Like
I really don't think so. I think that
I don't think you gotta go that far.
again, I think we've talked about this multiple times
Yeah.
over the past couple of episodes. I think that Cyberpunk has been dragged through the mud by people wanting hate clicks, right? Because like in my experience, like now I'm not talking about the experience that people have had on the older consoles, right? The older consoles straight up have had a lot of issues. But what I am saying is that there's far worse games out there that were released last year and the year before that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But I think if, and again, I'm in Cyberpunk's camp, but like if we look tit for tat, right, of what happened with ET and what happened with Cyberpunk, well, they line up like almost other than the fact of like the 6-week time frame, right, that it took to develop it. Like hardcore fans of ET actually like ET the game. Like, and I have played ET, the Atari ET, and it's hard and it's difficult, but the game makes sense and you play it, and there's some really cool shit that's actually in that game that I think a lot of people will give it shit for when it's actually not. So like, literally paralleling it to Cyberpunk, I mean, it's on that same fucking path. Like it's verbatim. Like, I mean, again, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like all of that stuff that happened with ET happened with this. So like, I'm just wondering, are we gonna fucking have one day like a Cyberpunk fucking you know documentary where they're gonna find a bunch of these things dumped in like some landfill somewhere? Like, is that what's gonna happen? Like
online landfill.
Like
I see what you're saying. I think it's sort of a stretch. But I mean, it's hard to compare something that's like ET. Like that's like the base of gaming. That's so old.
Definitely think it's a hyperbolic type of way of looking at it, right?
I mean,
like the game itself was playable. The game itself was finished to an extent of what the game experience had to be, right? If you're talking, I don't know what ET was. I never played the Atari.
I mean, ET's playable. It's beatable. It like people in chat are saying there's no real way to beat it, but it is like. And if you watch that documentary, they go through all of that motions, all of those things that show all of that. Like it just. And I'm like, I would just wanted to bring it up. Like, and this is what I told Enigma. I was like, I got a hot shot that I want to like take during the show. And this was that I've sat back since watching that, which was about a week ago, and really looked at it. I was like, bro, I think this is this generation's ET. I think that, you know, people look at it like they burned ET for development.
I think people want to make it.
Yeah, but
whether it actually is or not are two different things, personally.
ET being touted as one of the worst video games of all time is honestly fucking bullshit. Like,
you would tout Cyberpunk as up there with one of the worst video games ever made of all time.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the way that media and mainstream is looking at it is identical. Like ET worst game of all time, Cyberpunk one of the worst games of all time, right? Like
I think I agree with that old fat dude in chat.
That's his name, by the way. That's his name, by the way.
That's his name, by the way. He says the Fallout 76 is closer to the ET drama. I would agree with that. Maybe my bias towards not liking Fallout 76 and what they did with
but they never offered a refund for Fallout 76. They didn't ship a bunch of cards.
They should have.
Right,
yeah,
but that's
just because fucking CD Projekt Red wasn't greedy enough to offer fucking.
I'm not saying that that Fallout 76 was not like a debacle in its own right, but I think that we are going to look back in history or history will look back, not we will. History will look back ill will of Cyberpunk and say it was one of the worst video games releases of all time. Like what the game will be. I mean, ET can't have that. ET can't have like it was one of the worst releases, but ended up being one of the best games because they didn't do that back then, right? They didn't have DLC. It wasn't a thing. Like Cyberpunk will be a top notch in everyone's. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. There's just a lot of room of growth for Cyberpunk in some ways, right? That they can do some stuff with it. where like the ending project, people will look at and be like, this is what the game should have been. But I think from a release standpoint and from everything else, I have to say, I think this is the ET. I think this is ET of this generation, and I hate to say it,
don't think so.
but I think it is.
I honestly don't think so. There are far worse games out there that have released in
Right.
the past couple of years.
But we're not saying
Cyberpunk.
You're comparing release to you're comparing like what the game is and what people think about ET. I'm talking about like what happened, like history, as in what happened with the game, what happened with the release, what happened with the returns and the feedback. That's what I'm talking about here. I'm not saying that Cyberpunk wasn't a good game, and I'm not, because I'm saying that ET was a good game. I liked ET for what they had. I liked ET. I thought it was, it was playable. It was fine. Whatever else. I understood it. But what I am saying is that, like, point for point, what happened here happened there, and it's cyclical, man. It's like, I'll send you the documentary, and
yeah, you'd have to send me the points, because I just flat out don't agree with you. Like again, I've seen, I don't know what the points that you're talking about are, but if all we're talking about is literally the fact that they offered refunds,
no, it's not. It's the game was not publicly received well, right? Cyberpunk publicly was not received well. There are outliers on both. ET outliers. I'm one of them. I liked ET. There's outliers on Cyberpunk. People like Cyberpunk, right? But publicly, it is known as not being it was not received well, right? Both games got that. Both games went. One game was developed in 6 weeks. One game wasn't developed in 6 weeks, but there was a huge crunch, and it was put out before it should have been, right? So both get points there in saying that the games were released when they should not have been released, and they should have taken more time with them. Both games offered refunds back to customers and were shipped back to the the developers or whatever else. And so I would technically count that as 2 points. So like if I'm going off of those scales, like all of those things hit, right? Like the fifth one, it's whether or not these things are going to end up in a fucking landfill. Like if they end up in a fucking landfill,
I'm just going to point out that again, Fallout 76 had both of those options. The only difference between Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk is Fallout 76 and Bethesda didn't offer refunds.
But if you mention Fallout 76 to the mainstream media, right?
Yeah, when it released, it had just as bad a press as Cyberpunk had.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Enigma on that one.
I'd be interested to see, and I think what's really going to be the true tell of this is like 6 months to a year to 2 years. I want to see what is the message behind Cyberpunk. Like, is Cyberpunk touted as these phenomenal games?
I would be willing to bet that Cyberpunk will be in a better position in a year than Fallout 76 has been in for 2 years.
Then Fallout 76 will probably ever
Are you
be.
talking about from a game perspective, or are you talking about from a publicity perspective?
From a game and publicity perspective.
I don't know. I'm interested. I'm not gonna call you wrong, but I don't know. I'm interested. But as it stands right now, I think that this has the potential to be the ET of this generation.
Like I said, the only argument that I can give you is that, again, Fallout 76 has every one of those points. They had a terrible release. It had a terrible PR. It had terrible reviews. It had terrible public relations. The only difference between Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk is that at least CDPR was willing to admit that they fucked up and offer a refund.
Yeah, but
I mean, shit, you could even
don't
say
you think
Anthem was in the same boat? I mean, there's a lot of games
Anthem too,
that had a lot of hype. I think Anthem might have even had a little bit more hype than 76. I don't know. Bethesda fans go
not
crazy.
at all.
But
I will 100% agree with that. Cyberpunk was overhyped. 100%.
Where I'll agree with you is that both those games, you're absolutely right. Anthem and Fallout 76, both complete dumpster fires, way beyond what the dumpster fire that is going on with CD Projekt Red, right? Or Cyberpunk. The difference there is that once Bethesda releases Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield or whatever else, it'll be forgotten. Fallout 76 will be forgotten, right? Like Fallout people. I'm telling you, man, Fallout 76 will be forgotten
because Fallout ingrained in people's brains.
Yeah, because Fallout fans could give zero fucks about Elder Scrolls. It's been proven and it's been shown.
I'm talking about from a publicity standpoint. I'm telling you right now. I mark my word. I'm telling you. I firmly believe.
I mean, it's the same thing with CDPR. Once CDPR releases the next fucking Witcher series, they'll forget all about it.
I have a feeling that this will. I bet you that Bethesda could release another Fallout and call it Fallout 5, right? And Fallout 76 bullshit will not affect those sales
Yes, it will.
as negatively as what
Yes, it
CD
will.
Projekt Red's next project will be.
100%.
I don't know, man. I
don't know if it'll affect the sales, but because I know Bethesda fans will buy whatever Fallout they throw at them.
I don't think they will, though.
But I don't know.
After the performance that
Fallout
Bethesda
76
has had over the last 2 years, I don't think that gamers are willing to accept their bullshit. That's why
I don't
we're
know.
in.
Fallout 76 was such a wild case, like, and that's why it's going to be literally ingrained into like everything. That's why it's a staple of why we always reference for any bad release, any bad game is Fallout 76. You throw like a new single player RPG Fallout, I think people will still buy
because
that up.
Fallout,
the biggest thing that I can say is just the fact that with Fallout 76, I don't think that they're going to be willing to forgive as quickly as they're going to be willing to forgive CDPR.
Yeah, see, I'm with Scruffy because I think that what they'll go to is the fact of that really wasn't a Fallout. That was them trying to do something different with Fallout, but that really wasn't a Fallout game. Fallout 5 is
I don't think
Fallout.
that. We accept it as a Fallout game. We just accept it as a failure of a Fallout game.
I don't understand the correlations though, because you can correlate the exact same thing for CDPR when it comes to Cyberpunk. You can say, well, that wasn't a Witcher game.
Yeah, it's very much this in the same like vein of what they were trying to like. All I'm saying, and I'm not trying to pick a fight here or play devil's advocate. I'm just saying that in the world of Elder Scrolls or Bethesda, right, and Fallout, is that Bethesda has a lot more quote unquote wins under their belt, right, and quote unquote a larger fan base, whether it's Elder Scrolls or Bethesda or Fallout, than what CD Projekt Red has, and that in the world of if this stuff continues to go bad, right? Like Fallout 76 can't get worse, and you know it couldn't get any worse.
It has.
What I'm saying is it can't. Look, it can't bankrupt that company, and it didn't bankrupt that company.
That's why they got sold.
That's not why they got sold. They got sold because literally Microsoft went in and said, "Hey, I want to buy the fucking studio. I'm buying," and Microsoft is buying up.
Struggling.
$7 point some odd billion is not struggling. They were not fucking struggling.
When they got bought,
they were not struggling. That's not struggling.
I don't know, man. I think you need to pull up the numbers if they're even out there, because I doubt you're gonna find them.
I can tell.
I will 100% go behind and say that prior to Microsoft buying them, they were struggling, because they would have never accepted the fact of going under Microsoft from their own parent company.
Oh,
why
100%.
why would you bump yourself over into a fucking contractual obligation with
Oh,
a bigger company like
because
that?
for $7 billion, I guarantee you that you would sell your own child
for $7 billion and no longer have the ability to make your own decisions on your own games.
Todd, they weren't making their decisions on their own games anyway. I mean, realistically, like if we're saying that it is as bad as what you're saying it is, right? Then the reality is that they weren't making their own decisions and they could care less about it. What I'm saying is that they weren't doing as bad as what.
Touch with this one. I think you're talking out your ass.
Well, I think that I can say that I think that you're too close to loving Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red to look back and say that,
because I am sitting here saying, yeah, they fucked up. They released it too early. I don't think they're worse than fucking Fallout 76 though.
I haven't even played Cyberpunk. I don't have that close of a connection, and I can totally agree. I think it's just a far-fetched comparison, honestly.
I think publicly it is viewed the other way. I think publicly it is viewed
because they got dragged through a smear campaign just like Fallout 76 did.
Right, but so if Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk got both dragged through a smear campaign, then the reality is that
just the culture of like how we critique games now, anyways, is drastically changed from back then.
I mean, Fallout 76 ain't that old, man. Like it's not that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm talking about ET.
Oh, right. I get it. I understand.
Judge games from back then to now. Like
you're not wrong. Yeah, you're right.
If there's a bad release now, it is canceled immediately because that's what the culture is right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think you got a bad opinion on this, bud.
It's just, I mean, that's fine. We can. I mean, that's the great thing is we can disagree. But I'm telling you, I think I'm interested to see if, in fact, this will be known as like I said, the ET of this generation. And I will send you the documentary, and so you can look at it.
If it is known as the quote unquote ET of this generation, it's entirely because it was pushed that way, not because of the actual merits behind the game.
Well, that's why ET was. I mean, that's what ET was. I mean, ET was that. Like I said, the documentary does a very good job of explaining that. That's why I'm saying that it is, and it's you know, again, I will if we can post notes in show notes or whatever else, which I know we can for YouTube, but in the Spotify, I will post the show. I will give you the link to the fucking documentary. Go watch the documentary, and you know, I'd love to have a discussion afterward about that, because there are a lot of things that mirror very closely to what's going on with Cyberpunk. So.
No, I really don't see a lot of things mirroring. You've named off 4 things that can be attested to both Fallout 76 and any
Right,
other
but Fallout 76 isn't remembered that publicly as a public whole.
Yes,
Fallout,
it is.
it's not. It's
yes, it is. You are not close enough to Fallout
It's
76 to know.
bro.
It's just we're so close to the Cyberpunk release too. Of course, that's what everyone's still talking about. At the time of Fallout 76, it was the same thing.
They literally had months. It was like a solid 4 months of just nonstop trashing
You're right.
on Fallout 76.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it still goes on now. It's
And it
just
still
not
goes
as
on.
publicly, known, because Cyberpunk is the big thing right now.
I think that
Give it like 5 or so months, Cyberpunk will be in the same boat, and there'll probably be another big dumpster fire.
And the other worst part about Fallout 76 versus Cyberpunk is I have a lot more faith in Cyberpunk to fix the game rather than add in a fucking battle royale that didn't do anything for the
you're
game.
right. But but one thing that you're not taking into consideration is that the amount of hype that went around Cyberpunk was fucking 20 to 30 times more than what Fallout 76 was.
I completely agree with you.
That aspect alone, like, absolutely, just when I'm saying publicly, like, that has a huge weight or bearing on that, because publicly the hype, it touched more people, it saw more, like, it is the highest selling fucking digital game of all time, right? Which means that it touched ample amounts of more people than what Fallout 76 was. And so obviously, like I said, in that group, like the shockwave of what that is falling apart versus the shockwave of what publicly this is falling apart is amplified by that much. Like it's I could throw a pebble in a rock and get shockwaves. I can throw a fucking boulder in a rock and get a lot more shockwave. Like, that's all I'm saying, is that I'm not disagreeing with you that Fallout 76 was a dumpster fire of a game and that Anthem was a dumpster fire of a game. I'm saying that publicly it doesn't resonate as much as what Cyberpunk is, because Cyberpunk it was hyped way more beyond what Fallout 76 was. Like, so that's where I'm saying my point's coming from. I'm not detached from what Fallout 76 was or how bad that game was. I'm just saying that this is going to cause a ripple effect. So
I don't think that you're looking at either of them in a matter of like their actual player base, right? Like their actual who they were pushing towards and who hyped it up so much. Because I think Fallout 76, while it wasn't on par with Cyberpunk's hype, I think it still had the amount of hype, if you look at it, garnered towards like the audience that they wanted to bring in. I think you definitely had about the same amount of fucking hype.
I don't know, man.
Not necessarily for sales, right? Because like I agree completely with you that Cyberpunk overhyped and oversold, but I think that can be attested for Fallout 76, for Anthem, for several other games as well.
I don't know, man. I mean, hey, look, time will tell, right? That's the only thing that's gonna tell. It's gonna tell the true tale. Is time. So
give it a 5 months or so and see how Cyberpunk's really floating in the air still.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I want to know a year from now, 2 years from now. I want to see what is the word when it comes to Cyberpunk, and if it will be as forgotten as what Fallout 76, or not forgotten as Fallout 76.
I think you'll see that come their next major update, if they can fix a lot of their bugs and a lot of their issues currently.
All I'm saying is, I swear to God, I better not find a fucking Cyberpunk fucking disc in a dumpster somewhere. Multiple copies, not just one, because obviously someone's gonna throw it away eventually.
If you want to talk about it like that too, like Fallout 76, they couldn't give those games away. They literally taped. There was pictures of them taped onto fucking Xboxes and PlayStations because they couldn't give them away.
don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just
there was I in fact I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a couple of fucking pictures of dumpsters full of Fallout 76 CD cases.
hey, that comment, Fat Dude, is not 100% accurate because they give a lot of games for free on Xbox Game Pass that are fucking phenomenal. So, For the King's on there. I mean, there's Wasteland 3's on there. There's 100%. There's a lot of games on Game Pass.
I don't know. I think that you're gonna see a major shift in opinion for Cyberpunk once it kind of dies down, once the hate kind of dies down, once we get some more games out currently, because the Cyberpunk's not going to be the only fuck up of the season of the year. 2021, we've got a long fucking year ahead of us of games.
Yeah, I mean, I hope for them. Honestly, I swear to God, CD Projekt needs to go fucking radio silent. They need to shut the fuck up about anything that they're doing, whatever else. They need to shut their marketing team down
and
and
that's
just
what I was
fucking
happy
go
to
work on
see
their
that Biomutant was doing.
go work on their
Back
game.
to where we started.
Again, that's essentially what they've done. Like they released an apology recently, which to
Yeah, but their
me,
roadmap,
honestly,
they shouldn't have fucking released that. Like,
to me, honestly, that apology, they should have never apologized.
well, again, like I said, their marketing team,
they should have came out and said, we fucked up, we're gonna fix it, and then that's it. Not we're sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're
I mean,
sorry.
their roadmap was not a good idea. They should have just left that one alone. So
and that's again that we've talked about this multiple times. Cyberpunk has this, CDPR has this constant thing of like sticking their fucking foot in their mouth, and they need to just shut the fuck up, buckle their heads down, don't crunch. I guess I still don't understand the whole tabooness of crunch. I mean, when I was working, I was putting in well over 50 to 60 hours a week, but hey, whatever. I guess I wasn't in such a stressful job. I was just lifting up 300 pounds up and down stairs every day rather than coding, but it's whatever.
how dare you compare physical labor
we're
to
gonna
mental
move on,
labor?
I guess.
Well, so we talked about Bethesda, and actually this is a great kind of segue into ZeniMax, Bethesda, whether you want to consider them the same thing. But anyway, Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood expansion, quote unquote, or whatever. What do you call it? What the fuck is those things called? The two dots.
Yeah, it's Blackwood. It's an expansion. I don't give a fuck what they call
it. Oblivion or whatever else. It's like colon Oblivion. Or it's not even Oblivion. It's like part one Oblivion, right? It's like part one of the Oblivion
it's
saga.
Oblivion. You're going back to Oblivion.
Yeah,
you're going back to Oblivion. It's just the part one that they're releasing currently because Bethesda or ZeniMax, whatever you want to call them, again, terrible company as of late.
Are they splitting? Are they splitting this expansion? So wait, are they splitting this?
Split the expansions up. Yeah.
So they're splitting it up into two separate things.
They split it up in like 4, bro. Like.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I would not doubt that by the end of the Oblivion thing, you have like 3 different expansions, quote unquote, whatever they call them. I think they call them chapters that you have to purchase.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
That's the only thing with ESO and why I can't get into is all that stuff.
It's terrible because like
there's a lot of reasons why ESO.
It's a fucking great game.
It is. Yeah, it's a beautiful world, beautiful story, like any other Elder Scrolls game. It's just it holds you back with all those paywalls.
The only other thing that but I don't know. The thing about ESO that
a paywall though, yeah, because like you can subscribe, but it's like it's definitely one of those things where it's like a confusing.
Yeah, but didn't we figure it out last time that even if you subscribe, you still don't get all the shit.
You still don't get everything. Still. Yeah. There's like stuff that's like in really fine print that you probably have to read.
Yeah, it's there's something there that we looked at where you subscribe but you don't get all of the bullshit, like something.
You don't get all the chapters. You get all the like DLCs, quote unquote, what they call DLCs, which are the smaller packs, like the Dark Brotherhood update and everything.
Right, but you don't get the newest expansion. That I think that was it. Like
you don't get the full story expansions. Like play the story.
But what's crazy is that if you go and look at the Blackwood expansion page on Steam right now, if you buy the big boy which like are the $80 edition, you get all of it. Right, and so that's my thing that I think pisses me off about it. It's like the people that are paying monthly for this should get everything. Like everything that you bring out, fucking, I should get it for free, right? Or I mean, essentially for free, but I'm paying for it. But the thing about it is that if you're paying monthly, you still have to buy the fucking expansion packs, and the people that just buy the expansion packs and buy the big ass expansion packs get all of that shit. So
Yeah, they get all the previous stuff.
I'm looking at it on Steam right now. So the pre-purchase the Elder Scrolls Online Collection Blackwood Collector's Edition, which is the $79.99 one.
That's not the same, fat dude, as how World of Warcraft does it, because World of Warcraft, all of their updates, all of their stuff, all of their content that they do is free. Like, or whatever else, you buy the major expansion. That's not how ESO works. ESO has these chapters that come out that you have to pay for, and bring out. They're not all included in your DLC or your content purchase.
Yeah.
Like,
so with the collector's edition, you get the base game if you don't have it, the Blackwood, which is the new one, Greymore,
which was their last one.
Elsewhere, Somerset, and Morrowind chapters.
If you subscribe, do you get the chapters to the DLCs though?
You get the chapters if you subscribe. I think you get Morrowind and maybe Somerset and Elsewhere. But
so you get like 2 DLCs back or behind.
Yeah, you don't get Greymore, you don't get and you don't get the like segmented chapters.
When ZeniMax first released ESO, you guys are gonna have to forgive me, because I'm trying to catch my breath.
You good, man? Breathe. Just
how
breathe.
dare you try to breathe?
When they first released ESO, they said that they were not going to charge for DLC, and so the way that they got around DLC not charging for it, they renamed it to chapter, and then they gave you DLC, which are smaller patches, for free.
Yeah. And they give you, and then the other thing is like they give you coins, or whatever else too, or like whatever their imperial,
like 600 credits.
You get the coins, which you can then use those coins to buy certain things, but you don't have enough coins.
You're just shy, right?
Well, it's not always just shy, but you have to save them up to be able to buy the chapters. But then
after it's like 600 coins, so you have to subscribe for like almost 3-4 months.
I ended up remembering when I bought Elsewhere, or not Elsewhere, when I bought Greymore, I did the math and I was like, it doesn't. I would end up spending double what it would be, even though they tout the subscription as the service that you should do. Like, I would end up spending double that. Like, it was fucking something stupid and like an asinine. What I will say about these companies, both WoW or Blizzard and ZeniMax, is that their fucking their CG department and like cinematic department are fucking on point, man. Because it you watch that shit and it makes you want to play the game. Like, I watched it and I was like, I want to go back to Oblivion. I want to play this game.
Yeah.
And then
I'll give it. It's beautiful.
And then I remember it and be like, oh wait a minute, I don't want to play this game. Like, and I think too, ESO is one of the few MMOs out there that feels lonely. Like, I don't know why it is about that game, but I don't feel like I'm connected with a group when I'm playing that. Even when I'm seeing people running around the world and stuff like that, I don't know. It's weird. You know, in like WoW, even though like some of like early WoW or whatever else, you don't see as many players, but you still feel connected to that world, and you feel like, I don't know, you feel that community. But I mean, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, do you guys like, there's something about ESO that just does not feel connected.
Feels kind of empty almost.
Yes.
I don't know if empty, but like something like that.
Like, I don't know. It's odd. I don't know if it's because of the storyline. I don't know if it's because of whatever else. Because like, it's not the voice acting. It's not that because in Star Wars, I feel connected with a group and I feel that that connectivity. You know, and even though I feel less connected to the community in ESO than what I do in dead MMOs and MMOs that like have nobody, around or whatever else. Like, it's just weird. I don't know. But ESO fans, man, they love it. They love that fucking game.
To me, I almost just think it's so much just the world and how comparable it is to like, other Elder Scroll games.
You also got to look at it like this, right? When was the last time that we had an Elder Scrolls game released?
Oh, fuck. I mean, Skyrim was the last one.
Yeah.
8, 9.
And I don't know, what was it, like 2012 or something?
Yeah. This is the only Elder Scrolls game that has been released that is constantly updated, that isn't a rehash of Skyrim. And that's why it's so popular.
Well, to be fair, the last one was a rehash of Skyrim.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying is like, that is why you have people flocking to this game, is because it's their only fix for Elder Scrolls content, new Elder Scrolls content.
Just to go back to the old of what worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it works because Oblivion was dope.
Yeah. Oh, I loved Oblivion. Oblivion was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Morrowind and Oblivion were the last two. Oblivion in some cases because I didn't like the fucking horse armor bullshit. That's when shit started going downhill.
Yeah.
But Morrowind and Oblivion were like my last favorite.
I mean,
Elder Scrolls
Skyrim.
games.
A lot of people say Skyrim was phenomenal. And
I did
Skyrim is
not
not.
like Skyrim.
Skyrim's not
It
bad.
was good. but
Here's the thing: Skyrim, and maybe just. I mean, you played Oblivion, yeah?
I played Oblivion.
Skyrim is Oblivion, just with slapped on different skin.
I did not
Yeah.
like Skyrim. I thought Skyrim had a very poor way of like attaching you to the world. Like I didn't feel as attached to Skyrim as I did in Morrowind and Oblivion.
Yeah, I felt more attached to Oblivion for sure, but like I don't know. I still, I mean, I'm not gonna diss Skyrim because I still think it was a
It was a good
phenomenal
game.
game to me.
It
But
just wasn't a good.
Well,
overall-
I think the thing about Skyrim and the thing about Oblivion that sets it so much apart in that connectivity is that in Oblivion you felt, even though you were just a character in the world of, because when you start with Oblivion, they literally, you're in a fucking cage. I mean, you're in a prison, and that's where you start, right? And you're just boom, right? In Skyrim, it's like you're this mythical fucking, dragonborn,
dragonborn.
right? So like they went down the path of like you are this person.
you're the main character in
Right.
in
Whereas-
Oblivion. You were maybe a side character. At
Right,
first.
you were just a pawn in the whole fucking world that was going on, but in Skyrim, like you were the fucking world, like that was it. So it was just, and it's
And,
kind of,
fat dude in the chat brings up another good point, and that might be why. Again, that's his name. I'm not body shaming. I promise. He brings up a good point that literally every game past Oblivion has been Oblivion. It's been the same, even the Elder Scrolls or even the Fallout series. They use the same fucking Gamebryo engine. It's a 20-plus-year-old engine. They refuse to update it. They refuse to go to a new engine, even though we have Unreal Engine, we have Boneyard, we have everything, right?
Such an annoying.
They refuse to fucking update it. Even in the new shit, it's still on the same Gamebryo engine.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
6, Elder Scrolls 6, still on the Gamebryo engine. Fucking their new shit, the
And
Starfield,
Starfield will be
still
too.
on the
Yep.
Gamebryo engine.
Yep.
I thought they updated that engine. I thought
Oh,
6 was.
They've updated it, but
Well,
it's
they've
still the
updated it
same fucking engine.
graphically.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's still the same engine.
when they say, "Oh yeah, we've updated the engine. It's a new engine." No, they literally have just installed plugins.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The biggest thing with that engine that always pisses me off is that the FPS is tied to the game
Yeah.
speed. I'm like, oh my, and that was I don't want to get back to Fallout 76, but that was the biggest reason why there was actual hackers in the game is
It was
because people
fucking
just had to
insane.
change
Yeah.
files. They just had to literally edit the file.
Literally, I remember playing Fallout 76, going in and editing an INI file to try and get
Mhm.
better fucking
FPS.
FPS,
and
and
your
it
game speed
complete-
increased, and your
not-
guy would run at the same
not game
speed.
speed, not game speed. It deleted meshes, and I was able to walk through objects,
Even better.
rocks,
And
trees.
That's the engine that
walls.
they stick to, and that they hold so dear.
Literally one edit to the INI file. It was like a 0.1 to a 0.0, and I was able to completely wall hack my way through.
What I think is gonna be funny is, and interesting is, now that we've got Obsidian and Bethesda all under the same roof, like those all are under the fucking Microsoft roof, like so it's gonna be like, I don't know, it's gonna be like mom and dad kind of being like, why can't you be like the other son? Why are you the fucking shitty son? Why can't you
Essentially,
be like
yeah.
the son? You know what I mean? Like,
That's why I was so shocked when they purchased it. I was like, wow, they've got one company that, like, Bethesda fucked hard, and now they're in the same parent company. Like, wow, okay, well, that's gonna be fun.
oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe like I said, Fat Dude is maybe right. Maybe that's why they bought out Bethesda, so they could bring kind of give Obsidian to be like, here's your
Wouldn't
IP back,
surprise
fucking make it good, please,
It wouldn't
please, dear
surprise me
God.
because literally the only good Fallout in the past
Fallout
like
New Vegas 2.
20 years, yeah, like fucking forever has been
Give us a
Fallout
Fallout
New
New
Vegas.
Vegas.
Well, you're gonna get the New Vegas. It's gonna be Miami or whatever else, and it's gonna be done by modders. Like, it's
I mean, yeah, Miami's gonna be dope, but
so.
that rumor of Fallout New Vegas too. Ooh, it's
Yeah.
still. I know it's a
Um,
pipe dream, but
Get rid of fucking what's his name, Todd Howard, and
Howard,
just
yeah.
fucking restart that entire.
Todd Howard's just
with-
gonna sit back and make money.
speaking of
He doesn't give a shit.
Obsidian, what I'm still really excited for, and I guess there's actually a release date. Of course, it's just rumored, I think, but Avowed. I don't know if you guys remember seeing the
Oh yeah,
trailer for Avowed, and I think it was
Yeah.
E3. I think it was like, if I'm not wrong, I think it was like March 31st, which I don't know how, because I mean they've showed nothing of that game since they announced it with that one like cinematic trailer of
Yeah.
the airflying. But man,
I mean,
I'm so excited
I
for
think
that
this
game.
year we will see a shit ton of games come out from Microsoft Studios because they have to. Like they have to. They launched a console and they have nothing on it, right? Like Game Pass is their thing, which I understand, but they have nothing on out right now. Like so, they're getting their I wouldn't say they're getting their teeth kicked in, but like from a perspective of like why you buy a new console, PlayStation is beating them with one game and one game only, and that's fucking Demon Souls. You know what I mean? Like, an Astro Playground or whatever the fuck that game is. So, I think I think we'll see those games. I don't know if we're gonna see it in March, but I think that you're gonna see.
No. I definitely lied. I think I was thinking of a different game that I looked up recently, but Avowed is November 10th, which is a bit more. Yeah, that's more reasonable. So I'm excited for that game for sure. That's I think going to be the better Skyrim 6 or whatever.
We don't even know what it is.
We'll see.
It's a RPG.
Yeah, no,
fantasy RPG.
We've not seen anything about it.
Because like that's what they said about what's that one that they just came out with?
I met Todd Howard IRL. Fat dude.
You talk about Obsidian games?
Yeah, what's the new one that they just came out with? The new Fallout like space one.
The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
As much as I liked what they did with Outer Worlds, I don't think that they encompassed what they've had in Fallout.
I don't think so either. But yeah,
something was lost in translation.
Yeah, but they also didn't have. They also didn't have Microsoft money. Microsoft money can do a. Outer Wilds was not.
No,
Outer Worlds, but in Microsoft, it was a Microsoft release game.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't think Microsoft didn't buy. Did Microsoft buy Obsidian prior to them doing that? Because I'm pretty sure we saw Outer Worlds. That's another thing. They need to fucking stop doing that. Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds. God damn it. I'm pretty sure we saw that shit, and that game was way in development before this. I'll have to double check. I don't know. I think they got. I think they got signed on after Outer Worlds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they signed on after Outer Worlds because they didn't have They didn't have. That was a game I remember seeing at E3 a couple years ago. So yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know. Either way you look at it.
I agree. Like there's something that didn't really relate too close to Fallout New Vegas, but
and maybe that's what they were going for. They didn't want to make another Fallout New Vegas. They wanted to make their own shit.
Like how is Outer Worlds though? You've played it a little bit of it, Scruff.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been enjoying it. I finally have just started really getting into it, and it's still got that like comedic.
I think it has more comedy than what they had.
I think so too. Yeah, I think
able to go down that route, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Fallout New Vegas was a bit more, sparse with it, but it also like it made it enjoyable coming across like those comedic lines and stuff like that.
Well, see, and Fat Dude brings up a good point. Is that I was about to say to me, I think it gets rated as just the Fallout clone, right? I think it gets rated as like this is just. It's a great kind of Fallout like game. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm wondering is does that game have what it takes to stand on its own, or is it just it's a Fallout clone? If you've played Fallout, you play out New Vegas, you don't have anything else to play this.
I think so. If like somebody were looking for like another Fallout that wasn't made by Bethesda, they'll be like, oh, there's Outer Worlds, and that was made by the people who actually made a good Fallout.
Yeah.
I guess it goes to this. Would you pay for the game outright, or would you just play it on the Game Pass?
Well, if I didn't have the Game Pass, I don't know. That's the whole thing. Like I have the Game Pass now. I'm not gonna buy any games that like I really want if it's on the Game Pass.
Because to me, that's kind of that standard of like, this game is a great game that I will buy. Period. Right.
If I didn't have the Game Pass, I would have bought the game. I probably would have bought it on release.
I would have bought it just to piss on fucking.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You buy it,
it's
never
just
play
the fact that we have the Game Pass now that it's like I don't think I'll buy any games now. If it's
I guess I mean I understand it, but what I'm saying is I look at it like for instance Dead Cells, right? Like Dead Cells is one of those things where as soon as the new DLC comes out, even if I don't have the game installed, I buy it because I'm just like, it's fucking that good. It deserves my money. Take it. Here's the $5, whatever else. Like, I understand Outer Worlds is $60 or whatever, but is it one of those games where it's just like, I have to buy it? It's that good of a game. I own it. You know what I mean?
I get that too. Like, I do get a good feeling of like owning a game personally. I think in an ideal situation, yeah, I would have bought it.
Okay.
I think if you're an Obsidian, like if you enjoyed what Fallout was prior to Bethesda owning it, you would buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Well, keeping in line with companies buying out other companies and whatnot, you know, we've got Tencent news that they came out and they actually acquired Don't Starve and Life is Strange.
Well, Clyde
They didn't
Studios,
acquire it. They didn't acquire.
Or they acquired
stakes. No, they acquired a majority stake inside
stake
of the company for Klein, which is Don't Starve.
Yeah.
And they acquired a minority stake in Life is, or whatever it is.
So they own Don't Starve, but they don't own Life is Strange developers.
Pretty much. They own a portion of it.
Yeah. Because if you own majority control, you control the fucking company. You own that company. Like, that's your company. So
that's
more or less. More or less.
And I don't necessarily think this is too big of news. What I do think that this kind of goes to, right? And this is, I don't know if it's good or bad, right? I think it's one of those things where it's a scary proposition.
I think it's good at all. Like Tencent owning more development companies.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that we're going into a world now where you're gonna have just power companies, right? Where it's just like Tencent, it's Microsoft. You know, it's I guess EA is kind of fucking out of it now. They're not buying any companies anymore. I think they're just trying to stop hemorrhaging cash. Activision is getting rid of fucking Blizzard and trying to shuffle that off to somebody else.
And that was one thing I wanted to correct, and we don't really get to talk about it, but apparently they're not offing Blizzard. Blizzard absorbed the companies that remade the Crash Bandicoot stuff, like the Crash Bandicoot and the.
So Activision is not giving away. They're not getting rid of them?
Activision is not getting rid of Blizzard. Blizzard is absorbing another company that's very loved. I can't remember what the company is, but it's the company that redid the Crash Bandicoot stuff and that redid the Tony Hawk stuff.
Okay, well then that's not as big, but still, Activision is buying. All right, so Activision is buying companies. You know, that world is not a. I think a lot of people are like, oh, that's it's good. Now they have the money, blah blah blah. That's not. It's not always a good thing. Like having we saw this with like AT&T and things like that, where they broke up Ma Bell and they broke up all those companies, because once you have a majority, and honestly, this is what's going on in the streaming world, right? When you only have one company that's fucking doing anything that's decent or whatever else, they don't give a fuck. They can just do whatever they want. So like, I'm not saying that Tencent is gonna go in here. I think Tencent is basically saying we own Riot. I mean, Tencent owns a fucking shit ton of stuff, man. They own a large majority of a lot of fucking things, whether it's movie industry or whatnot. Like if you look at a lot of things, Tencent owns it.
The company that was Vicarious Visions. That's a pretty well known company.
Gotcha.
They finally got absorbed and completely gotten rid of, essentially.
Gotcha. What I'm worried about is Clyde Studios and whatever the studio was that developed Life is Strange. They're both fairly, indie studios. So I don't know if this is meaning that Tencent is going to start targeting indie studios now and start going after all the small guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good possibility now.
What's interesting about Don't Starve is that I wonder how it's going to affect their just development cycle, because if you look at Don't Starve and Don't Starve together, the amount of stuff that they pump out for that game, there's like $250 worth of content for that game.
Especially Don't Starve Together. They've really pushed more on that in the past years, just because that's where majority of the people are going now, and they're pushing out content and DLCs left and right for that game.
The interesting thing about the minority stake in Life is Strange development, right? The Don't Nod Studios, they're in part of their business agreement is that Tencent is supposed to help them break into the Chinese mobile industry.
Really?
Okay. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. It's weird because, and this is actually a really good segue into kind of the indie scene, one of the topics that we're going to talk about. But like, I don't know, man. Like to me, if I'm an indie developer, there's two ways, and we've discussed this a multitude, especially like with Epic Studios and you know fucking doing exclusivity.
Said the word.
You know, I know. I
Said
said
the
both of
E
them. We said Fallout 76 and Epic. This is fucking crazy, crazy show.
Bro, I already have COVID. You're trying to give me a heart attack. Like, you already pissed me off with the cyberpunk thing. Now you're just trying to piss me off even more.
But is it the fact that like indie studios need this cash, or is it something where they're just like, this is a way for us to become bigger? You know, to me, I'm like, if I'm an indie studio, especially like Clay, like if I'm Clay Studios and I look at Don't Starve, I gotta imagine Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together are doing well. Like they're not doing terribly, right?
I think a lot of Clay. I mean, even their other game auction not included, it does decent. It does good.
You know, so I'm just wondering if they're doing that well, why not try to be your own studio? You know what I mean? Like, and I guess this goes back to the very thing that we talked about with Microsoft and fucking, Elder Scrolls or Bethesda. Like, is it a fact that they're just going and being like, you know what, we don't want to have to worry about money anymore. Fuck it, we're gonna get bought, and so we can do whatever we want. If that's the case, I hope to God in their contract they have written it somewhere that they get the end all say all on what happens with that product. Because if you watch enough of the Toys That Made Us documentaries and whatever else, all of those people that sold off those properties to these big companies, right? Like Viacom bought out fucking Ninja Turtles or whatever else, when like Nickelodeon and all that shit, whenever that happened, right? They lost complete control over their IP, right? And so I hope it's written in their contract that Clay Studios gets to still make the decisions for Don't Starve, which it doesn't. I don't think it will. I think Tencent will be like, no. You're going to incorporate pay to win strategies or whatever else.
As a quick like update, like Don't Starve Together, I'm looking at the Steam charts, and in the past 30-day average, they've had 21,000 people playing the game at any given time.
That's more than that. That's more than Marvel Avengers.
Their current player base at this time is 14,367.
And that's good.
Impressive. I mean, that's impressive for an older game. That game's been out for a long time. You know, so I don't know. I just, that's kind of where it goes, and I think that's too.
That's
like,
what I'm worried about.
Where
honestly.
like this happened with Pantheon, right? Like Pantheon they didn't get bought out. They didn't know whatever, but they got a huge influxation of cash from a angel investor to get Pantheon, which is an MMO RPG that we've talked about a couple times on the show, to out the door or whatever else. My fear is that when you do that, that person now has a controlling say in what happens.
When we were talking about that, that's what my biggest fear was I was like, okay, they got a huge influx and a huge infusion of money, but they also got a majority stakeholder that's going to want to take this. Because if I remember correctly, when we were talking about it, the background of the dude that supposedly pushed all this money, if I remember correctly, was he
buys and sells.
Yeah, he buys and sells and specializes in marketing for big companies like this. Yeah. And I'm like, so we're gonna get another fucking suit that just wants anything profit. It's not about the game, it's just about the profit.
He didn't get majority stake in Pantheon's company or whatever. I forgot what the name of the company that is doing Pantheon, but he didn't get majority stake in that. But again, he
probably got a pretty big portion.
He donated a huge amount of money, so he's gonna obviously have something. So that's the same thing with Tencent, right? Which I don't know if how much Tencent plays in Riot, Riot Studios and kind of how they go down that road. I think Riot's their own fucking demons when it comes to League of Legends.
Well, we've seen the situation that we have with Tencent and Activision, right? Activision's partnership with Candy Crush bullshit. They're starting to push into other games.
And someone would need to fact check me on this one. But isn't Tencent how Activision got their shit into Call of Duty Mobile out in China? If I'm not mistaken,
Tencent is how they got, if I remember correctly. Again, like you just said, fact check me, but I'm pretty sure Tencent is the reason why they're able to have World of Warcraft in China.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but we talked about, like I said, indie studios, and one of the things that happened that I'm actually very pissed off about is, and it's not pissed off that this game went solely to Epic. I've said it now 3 times. So I'm sorry, Enigma. But it went solely to Epic, but it's the fact of the message that the studios, that IO Studios sent out for Hitman 3, that they went Epic, right? And their whole pitch behind this was that, well, we were able to go exclusivity, which relieved us the ability to have to worry about performance, and we could focus in on our game, right? So here's my thing about that, right? They signed a 1-year exclusivity, right? You also developed a VR component to that game that can only be played on PlayStation VR.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's true that you care about the development of that game, why would you not only lock it into Epic Studios, but lock it into Epic Studios for a year where the VR component can't even be played in anywhere else? Like it,
On PC. Yeah, they can't be. You can't play that on PC right now.
Right.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, you can't play the VR version of Hitman 3 on Steam VR
for a year.
Right, for a year. I can't play it on Oculus. I can't play it anywhere. So it's like, don't feed me a line of bullshit that like, oh, I am doing this for the betterment of the fucking game. No, that's not what it was. No. Epic went to you and said, here's a buttload of cash, take it, right? And they're like, okay, like, all right, that sounds great. You know what I mean? Like,
there was no need for that for the game,
right?
At all.
That like,
and we talked about this as well. Like when it came down to them being if I remember correctly, they said that they were an indie studio, right?
Oh yeah. They said that was the other thing. They said they were a fucking indie studio.
The thing that pissed me off about that was I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how many Hitmans are there? Like 3? I mean 3, yeah, Hitman 3. As far as I know, there's 3 major ones, and then there's several spin-offs, right? To me, that's a AAA company. That is not an indie development.
I'm trying to find the exact fucking quote from this. Bear with me while I'm looking for it. But yeah, they call themselves a fucking indie studio. I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me, saying that IO is an indie studio.
That's
granted, I can. We played devil's advocate. You were playing devil's advocate when we were talking about this, and you were saying, technically, I guess they are an independent studio because they don't have a publisher behind them, right? They've gotten rid of WB.
That's
so technically they are an indie development studio, but they're not an indie development studio.
No, they're not. God damn it! I wish I could find the fucking quote for this, but it was literally like a slap to the face of anybody that like understands video games at all. And I can't find it. I don't know. But anyway, if you find the quote, I'd love to see it again. But it literally was just like, oh, because IO being an indie studio and or whatever, and they didn't use independent developer, right? They use indie studio. Like, that's not what you are. And
I got the quote right here. Says, discussing why Hitman 3 is an Epic exclusive, IO explained in August. As an independent studio,
okay, so they did say independent studio. I stand corrected.
Our partnership with Epic has given us the freedom to create Hitman 3 exactly as we imagined it, and self-publish the game to our players directly. It's also important to us that we honor the time our existing PC players have spent in our previous games. With that in mind, we're pleased to confirm that the PC players, this is one thing that I'll give them, right? This was a good move. They say, with that in mind, we are pleased to confirm that PC players will be able to carry over their current progression and unlocks from Hitman 2 on Steam into Hitman 3 on Epic Game Store. This means IO and Epic have done their best to get fans to leave Steam behind and jump over to Epic Games.
Why are you giving them credit for that? So what the fucking benefit is that? So that's just saying like, oh, hey, by the way, we're gonna
I'm just giving them credit that they're not like, hey, now you have to buy all those games again on Epic.
To me, it just sounds like they're putting the fucking rubber glove on before they shove their whole fist in your ass. Like,
essentially,
what a fucking, I don't know, man. As a fan of the Hitman series and someone that has played Hitman 1, Hitman 2, and I was looking forward to Hitman 3, and then I saw this shit. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, and as someone that actually has the Epic installer on their fucking PC, or I did before I reset my computer, I was playing Godfall, right? I was like, okay, I think I could be okay. If they had not come out with that statement, him saying that statement, 100%, I was like, fuck you, I'm not giving any money to you or Epic. Like, I'm not even gonna play.
Every few months, Epic takes an exclusive from us, and we're just like, really? Like,
Yeah.
like every few months, it's without, you know.
And that is the hill I'll die on, is those types of things. Like when you do that and then you want to try to fucking back it, like don't, you're already pissing me off that you've made me go to Epic Studios, right? Like you already pissed me off with that. But the fact that you want to shove it down my throat and be able to be like, this is what's best for the game, fuck you. Fuck you. Like,
Yeah, seethe in my rage.
like you
Sure.
could, you're gonna sit there. There's nobody in the world, nobody that will ever convince me that you will make more money on a fucking single platform with Epic's whatever money that they gave, because they gave some, but I'm gonna tell you something. Apple put the screws to them, so they were losing a lot of money in a lot of places. They couldn't have a whole lot of money to give, but they gave some money, right? You're not gonna fucking convince me that by saying I'm gonna sell on every platform possible, GOG, Humble Bundle, fucking, Steam, Epic, wherever, right? That I can, that you're gonna make less money. It doesn't make sense to me. And the other thing that pisses me off is that, guess what? If I go and buy this game from a fucking store, or if I go and buy it online through an Xbox, I get to play it there. Right? If I have an Xbox, right? It's not a PC exclusive, is it?
It's a what's it called? No, it's on
Xbox. It's on Xbox and PlayStation Store, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Awesome.
I mean, no, it's on PlayStation because they have VR on PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Fuck you guys. So you're just forcing PC players because of some bullshit crap that Epic Studios has with Steam, and Tim Sweeney has with Steam.
Annoyed me, my apprentice.
Fuck you guys, bro. Fuck you. Like it's just
now he's starting to see the dauntless anger and rage that I had when they went, hey, by the way, it's for the.
You know what? Fallout 76 was a big dumpster fire than in Cyberpunk. Fuck you guys. No, it's I don't know. It's just bullshit, right? Like I'm not crazy, right? Like this is.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit.
I mean,
we see it time and time again with all this.
The worst part about it is like literally they're cutting off an entire portion of their game to their player base because Epic doesn't have VR capabilities. Right. So it's like all those people out there that have the Vives, that have the HTCs,
the Oculuses, yeah.
They see those money signs and they just forgot they even developed the VR portion of the game. They're like, wait, what?
And not saying that the VR component of this would have been fucking breathtaking, but the fact that it
looks good,
it still would have been fucking amazing. Like that is the world to fucking play VR.
We watched that video with the VR.
A whole new experience of Hitman.
Right.
We watched that video with the VR and it looked good. Like you could like tap people on the shoulder and they would actually like what's it called? Like turn to look and see who tapped him on the shoulder. If you tapped him on the right shoulder, they would turn to the right. And then the dude like literally stabbed him in the face on the left side. So it had some very unique things that it could have done, man. Like,
right. It's I don't know. I mean, yes, I'm just saying it would have been. It's a cool thing experience, but like, is it the reason to buy the game? No, but like, also too, the thing about Hitman that like really revolutionized, like the last version of Hitman was such a revolutionary game in the way that you could just do whatever the fuck you wanted. You want to talk about a real playground way of being able to kill somebody and whatever else. That was Hitman. And like, I was so like, again, it was off my, like Hitman 3 wasn't on my radar of being like, oh, I'm sitting here waiting. But like, it's when they announced Hitman 3 and it was like, oh, it's releasing today. I was like, oh, fuck yes, absolutely. I'm going to go buy it right now. And I look and saw this and I'm just like, absolutely not. Like, and it wasn't, again, the fact of, it was just an Epic exclusive. It was the fact that it was an Epic exclusive. And then you had this bastard come out and say some bullshit like that. Like, I don't know, man. Fuck you.
Welcome to my rage.
Yeah.
Young Padawan.
So
join me on the dark side.
Well, continuing that again, man, dude, segues tonight have been great, but continuing that discussion about fucking money and how dumbasses can play a whole role in making someone do something that they normally wouldn't do. If you follow stonks, and by stonks we mean stocks, right? GameStop stock is fucking it's like 700% up right now.
All right, wait. Did you say what was that? GameStop?
GameStop. Yeah.
No, GameStonk.
Yeah, GameStonk. Their stock is through the roof. And if you don't, for anybody that doesn't understand,
don't hate. Elon Musk's tweet. All right, bro.
if you don't understand what's going on, right? And this isn't just GameStop. It's not just GameStop. AMC's getting it. Naked's getting it. Not Kodak. Nokia is getting it, and BlackBerry is getting it. Basically, what happened was that there was a hedge fund companies. The way hedge fund companies notoriously make a lot of money is they do what's called shorts, right? So you guys are going to get stock, the stock corner with Sin. So they do these things that are called shorts. A short is where they bet against the company and against the stock, basically saying that, hey, we make money if the company fails, and if that, they go belly up, they go bankrupt, or if they just go below a certain point, right? That's a short sale. That is shorting a stock. Basically, Reddit got a hold of this and found out, and there is investigations on whether or not this was inside trading, whether somebody from GameStop actually came in and told Reddit about this or whatever else.
There was.
But basically, Reddit got ear of this, or wind of it, and they basically said, no, fuck that, and they started buying the shit out of these stocks. And so GameStop stock went from like, I think it was $12 was like how much you could buy a stock for, which is fucking, it's not a penny stock, but it's cheap, right? $12 dollars. It went to now being like, I think right now it's
like 300 for last I saw.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like it's insane, right? So much to the fact, and this is where I don't agree, so much to the fact that Wall Street actually has halted any trading or selling of GameStop, AMC, Nokia, Naked, and BlackBerry.
Isn't that crazy how much power Reddit holds?
Well, that's the crazy thing. So the issue here is the legality of what's going on, right? And here's the thing. Shorting a stock is a shitty way to make money, right? Like, you're banking on someone fucking failing. You're making on someone else's failure, which I get, but at the same time, it's a shitty way to do things, right? That's why we also had it's part of the reason why the 2008 crash marketing, the market crash from the housing market, whatever else. But the flip side is that I commend the Reddit people for being like, fuck you guys, this is not a way to do things, and this is a problem with shorting a stock, so they just junk the price up, right? Well, here's the issue. The crash from this is going to be epic, right? Like, I've said it out 4 times.
Don't say that word.
I know. It's going to be monumental. Because there are going to be a lot of dumbass people that don't understand stocks and don't understand buying and trading that are about to lose a fucking shit ton of money, right? Because they bought all of these stocks, and then they're going to be worthless, like, whenever this is done, because they're halting these stocks so that people that basically the hedge funds and all of these people that the higher up, the rich people, the people that are already rich, not you and me that bought these stocks, and let me tell you something, I didn't buy these stocks, but the people out there that did buy them, they're not halting it for your protection. They're halting it so they can figure out a way to get their fucking money out before this thing tips and crashes. So anybody that sold yesterday, y'all are great. Y'all made out like fucking bandits, man. I think there was one call or one report that some dude made, I think upwards of like $2 million or something like that off this, or $3 million off of this.
I think I heard 3 million.
Yeah, from like GameStop and AMC. But as soon as this gets turned back on, it's down to the ground, right? Like, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, it's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. And I can tell you that Reddit thought that they did something good with this. All that Reddit did is it's now gonna have a crackdown on these kind of things.
I don't think they think they did something, that good. They just do what they do. They just do stuff in spite of things, because that's just how Reddit works.
Well, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people out there that are taunting like Reddit, and why they pick GameStop, I don't. I mean, obviously this is a short, but like, why that company? Like, somebody at GameStop is being like, "Fuck yeah, we're on top of the world," and like they're just is like, no, we're
the Lance's video on Twitter.
Yeah, it was great.
Cracked me up.
I just cussed my mom out, like, whatever else. Like, I don't know, man. It's nuts. So what I'll say is that be very cautious in this and monitor. But if you are thinking right now about buying fucking GameStop or buying AMC or Nokia or Naked or BlackBerry or any of these other stocks and these companies, right? Bath and Body Works is another one that's about to get hit, right? If you're thinking about doing this, I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna work out for you. Like, because that tip is so quick and when it happens, and I'm not saying that you can't fucking make money on the stock market like that, but like it is a fucking roll, and I'm not talking like just a chance. I'm talking like a fucking roll of that dice or whatever else. Because again, they are being investigated, and in fact, that subreddit got turned private because they are being investigated right now for insider trading. Like, because it is insider trading. If you know for a fact, and what people, I did not mean to go into a fucking stonks lesson, but insider trading is basically where if you know what's going to happen to a stock before it's going to happen because you have inside tips, i.e. if you're on Reddit and you're buying stocks and know that you're going to dump the stocks at a certain point when they get high enough, which is what is happening, that is insider trading. You can get in some serious trouble for that. Like that is felony offenses, that is jail time, and we're not talking like in a fucking prison, we're talking, or like a jail or whatever, we're talking like federal fucking pen. That is some shit that they will fuck you over. And if you don't think that they can fuck you over just by going, like, you can beat the rap sheet of like, oh, well, I can beat court time, the IRS will come and take everything away from you, like in a heartbeat. It's no fucking joke. So again, I wouldn't touch that Reddit shit with a fucking 500-foot pole. And there's sure as hell no way in hell that I would be buying these stocks, because it will come back. I promise it will come back to bite you in the ass. And it's just crazy. So
I'm still posing the question of, so we're having so much press for GameStop right now, right? What happens with if with all this sudden press and influx of like articles about them, they start doing better and their stocks rise up again?
Nah,
they won't. They would have to go from like a fucking
man.
Dude. There's no. They still give out
stranger things have happened.
They still give out shitty prices for their shitty for consoles and whatever else, and they don't give you good trade value. And it's literally like Lance said. Like, he's like, no, nobody gives a. We still give out fucking $10 for a PlayStation. Nobody wants to come in here and get $10 for a PlayStation. Nobody gives a fuck about a buy two get one free on pre-owned games. Like,
yeah,
it's.
Oh man, I'm just saying, stranger things have happened.
Nah, it ain't gonna come back unless GameStop decides to do something completely different. GameStop ain't coming back, bro. That place is on the edge. That is going the way of Blockbuster. So, just putting it out there. Yeah. One of the other things that we have on here is the day before. So Enigma, I'll let you take this one because you're the one that found the game.
You're gonna have to talk, Millie.
Okay, cool. I'll talk. All
right.
Now. Enigma can't breathe. He's dying. So the day before is a game that Enigma found. We've kind of been in this survival kind of swing, wanting to try to find a survival game, and that, we landed on 7 Days to Die, which we're having a blast with. By the way, we do have a server up. If you are wanting to get into that server, you can join either my Discord. Is where a lot of the stuff is happening, but Scruffy will be joining us and stuff like that. But we have a 7 Days to Die server up. But in looking for that, like, we went on this huge like deep dive into like survival games because we were playing Scum, and Scum's cool, but Scum is it's, you feel alone. I looked at a game called Cryofall, which was like this. It looks like Don't Starve Together, but it's more like Scum. In a way, it's a cool concept, but it also looks like, and I liked some elements of it, but it looked like
I played it.
Yeah,
the biggest problem that I had with it was, and I kept repeating it, like, I don't think I'm willing to pay $20 for it.
Yeah, the price tag's a little steep, but also too, like, it feels like a mobile game.
Yeah, exactly. That I was gonna say, the way it plays mechanically and just like the movement and everything, it just something's off with it.
It screams Don't Starve Together, but it doesn't play like Don't Starve Together.
It plays like Rust, and I'm not a fan of Rust.
Yeah. And so, we went down looking at all these games. Well, then Enigma stumbled upon the day before. And it was announced today, yeah? Right? Like, I think
so,
I think today was its announcement date. It's on Steam, and you can wishlist it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, do not in any way, shape, or form pre-order or put any money into this fucking game.
I'm skeptical,
until you fucking actually see this thing perform, because it legit, like, almost screen for fucking screen looks like a rip of The Division. Like, this is like the fucking.
Well, The thing that kind of drew me to it as well is that like it does look a whole hell of a lot like Division, and they're toting it as an MMO, which is what the Division was supposed to be when it first released.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's even got the fucking door open, bro. Like it's got the door open that Division had, and it's called The Day Before. And I'm not shitting on the Division, right? It's just that I'm shitting on what the Division was supposed to be and what we got, right? Like what we saw in E3 videos and what we actually got with the first Division. Now, the Division post was good. Like once they came out with DLC, they fixed a lot of stuff. It still was not what we were supposed to get, right? Like it's never been the MMO like PvP VE style where like you can get on your tablet and you can fucking call in drones and you know like none of that stuff existed. None of it, right? And this game looks like that.
The thing that draws me to it as well is like it's touted as like a Rust meets the Division meets Spin Tires. I don't know if you guys have ever played Spin Tires or if you know what that is. Yeah.
How's it being touted as that?
The vehicles in this game are supposedly very,
fuck is
very,
Spin
very
Tires?
stunningly detailed.
Just with the vehicles, because
What
I'm
is
like,
Spin Tires?
it's a cargo like simulator game. Like
it's an extremely detailed like car simulator. Like you have like mud bogging that you could do and like rock crawling and shit.
I mean, it's cool. Yeah,
My Summer Car, whatever the fuck it is.
No, more realistic.
More of like a like I said like a rock crawling and like you know it takes into effect like mud and like how deep in the mud your tracks are and like if you get stuck you have to have like a fucking hoist to get yourself out and shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's what kind of interested me about it is like it has the MMO that sorry again.
No, all right. Well, yeah. There's a lot of things.
Like, I want to say that I watched this trailer and everything, and I'm all for like this kind of game. Like it looks, it looks sweet. It looks, pretty good. It's just like watching this trailer. It's like a gameplay. It's like a scripted gameplay trailer.
Like
and
that
that's
original
where it's skeptical to me.
I'm
like,
telling you, man,
the way it's scripted and everything.
Fucking Division, bro. It looks and feels like the Division.
It reminds me of the original Rainbow Six Siege trailer with the beta trailer of when it was
the
like,
original
scripted
Division trailer.
Yeah,
like straight up, they took the exact same things. Like Sin's not lying when he says that they fucking literally close the door when they walk past the fucking door.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's and it's a cop car, which is a cop car in the fucking Division. Like it's the same way. I don't know. Look, I'm all for the game being great, and I'm not shitting. I don't want to shit on this thing, right? I'm just saying like there better be betas, there better be alphas, and Enigma and I have said this because and Enigma knows best when it comes to these survival games. And not saying this is a survival game, right? Because I don't know if you're gonna have to manage like food and water.
That's what they call it as. So whether that's actually true or not.
Yeah, but we get fucking dude. The Dead by Daylight is a survival game.
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Fucking Apex is considered a survival game. But is the fact that a lot of these companies come out and they will throw money at these things and develop these things to get a cash grab and then never develop anything for it. Hurt World is a great example. I think me and Scrubby played Hurt World. We actually enjoyed Hurt World for a long time. But the developer just basically got their money and dipped out. They're not developing it anymore. They're not doing anything. Where we all don't like Rust. Like none of us here like Rust. The reason we don't like is because of that. Because of the community. The community is fucking toxic as shit. And people say it's not as toxic as League. No, that is a depravity in human.
It's a different kind of toxic.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
But Rust, I will give the developer credit. They never died on their game, right? They fucking said, nope, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. They never did anything with their community. Riot never does anything with their community, but they keep at it. And you know what? They made a game that has changed a lot. It's evolved, whether you like the way it's evolved or not. I personally prefer old Rust to new Rust. But
so do I.
They have stuck with it, right? I commend them for it, right? If the Scum creators stick with the game and keep with it with at the pace they're going, I commend them for it, right? But I don't know. This game, it just feels real weird Like, you know what I mean?
It's just screaming to me like how Rainbow Six showed like such a cinematic trailer and everything, and then they came out with what they had.
Yeah.
What honestly I'm more excited about, and what has been in actual development and showed actual like dev blogs and vlogs and everything, is Dead Matter.
I was about to say I watched the big thing about Dead Matter. That
Dead
game looks
Matter
interesting.
is still like going, and they're
Problem with,
still
problem with Dead Matter is ones that ever fucking gonna release has been in development for what, since 2013.
no, not that early, but like yeah, I think they originally went in. They were funded. They were
Dead
initially
Matter
funded in
originally started,
2017.
and it
But they
originally
started
started
in like 2000, like
very
15.
early. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as they keep showing us like they're pushing out, you know, some actual work on the game, and they have with their devlogs. Like I've seen a full like actual like gameplay alpha test that who was it? I think I watched Big Fry do on YouTube, and like it works, like it's working, and it's still like they're still pushing it. So
No, I
I've
don't
got
know.
hopes for the game.
I've had Dead Matter on my radar ever since it first like popped up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's been through like so many renditions
The,
and so many, like they've remade it like 4 different times.
the only
It's
thing
the only problem that I have with it.
the only problem, the only yeah, but some that's not the only problem I have. The only thing I have a problem with something like Dead Matter, right, is and I think this really kind of opened my eyes whenever I was really diving into these different, you know, games, trying to find one that we could play and stick with, and why we ended up actually going back to 7 Days to Die is because it's none of them do anything I think unique, right? So like, or I think Dead Matter. What is Dead Matter doing unique? You know what I mean? Like, what's it doing differently than Dead Side, than Daisy, than Scum, than, you know, these games? Like, I'm asking,
I
like, what
think
is it?
you're right. I just don't I don't think it is necessarily doing anything super unique. I think it's just trying right now, from what I've seen, it's pulling from a lot of different games right now, and especially it's starting to pull from Escape from Tarkov just because of how big that game has been. I can see that they've implemented some features that that game has been, like, you know, just with like the loot system and everything. I know Scum actually did the same thing with their loot system of like how Escape from Tarkov had theirs. But like I don't know. I just
Well, a
I'm
good, good.
go ahead. I'm just saying I'm still more inclined to something like that than to a day before, with having, you know, like no knowledge of just like some cinematic trailer, and
Well,
then
yeah,
it's
but
going to be
we've
out like
also
I don't
not.
know.
Well, they didn't say when it was going to be out, did they?
It
Yeah,
hasn't
I don't. I mean,
released.
so we got to compare apples to apples here. I mean, the
Okay, yeah.
Dead Matter's been fucking around for a
Yeah,
while,
so
right? Like,
right here, Dead Matter on their Greenlight page, beginning as a mod in early 2012, before hitting a public release in January
and
of 20.
it's raised a good amount of funding. I mean, it
It's
raised
been
like,
all around for a very long time.
you know,
Yeah.
so I look at that, and you bring up Escape from Tarkov. Like, what would Escape from Tarkov be if Escape from Tarkov was not didn't have the loot fear, right? If it was just a shooter, you just went in and it was super realistic, hyper realistic, it doesn't do anything different, right? It doesn't do anything new and exciting. It's the loot fear that makes that exciting game, and the fact that you've got scavs, right? And scavs can be player characters. But I take Dead Side, I take Scum, I take Daisy, I take, you know, any of those, right? And the numerous fucking ones that you can go see that. And go on Steam and pull up fucking survival open world crafting games. None of them are fucking. They're all, for the most part, all the same, right? But what 7 Days to Die, I think, what makes it so different and why we go back to it is because it is one of these things where the 7 days, right? You feel imminent threat, right? Because you have to get shit done within 7 days. If you don't, you're fucked, right? And the other side of that too is you have, like, I think that their leveling up system, I think that their looting system, I think that I think their crafting system is it's not necessarily unique and different, but it's done extremely well in a way that it feels good, right? Whereas, like, I look at Dead Side, I look at Scum or whatever else, and it's like, this doesn't feel good. And I get it's early access, but still, man, like, it doesn't. I don't know. Yeah. That's just my point.
I agree. I mean, and
the day before, I think it's gonna be that exact same thing. It's like, why do I play this versus the Division? Why do I play this versus, you know, whatever else other survival game that's on there? Are you just tacking survival to it just because it's popular?
yeah, I mean, it's weird because survival is not even like popular right now. It's got a few popular games, but like survival's been dying for years now. And
I don't know. I think it's on a wave. I think the zombie wave is starting to come back. You have like Back for Blood. You got
it's starting to come back now that like the BRs are kind of dying, not dying, but
Well,
like they're not as prominent. But like
you got to remember as well that we're now reaching a point in time where all of those early access survival games are now starting to come into actual release.
right.
Right.
Yeah, the Raft came out, like that came to 1.0. You know, also too, like the trend is starting to right, it's starting to turn. Like we were with BRs was everything, right? Everything was a fucking BR, everything was a MOBA, everything was an MMO, right? The one thing that hasn't really had that, like everything is this, is the kind of survival genre in a way. Like it's been popular, but it's not been like this, right? I think because of Escape from Tarkov, I think Escape from Tarkov has a element to it because it's still, and again, it's a survivor light, right? Like it's not a survival game. But like Enigma said, a lot of these games are coming to 1.0. They're getting some traction behind them, and I think that turn is happening where you're going to see survival games be that next thing. You know, that or and also too, we went through the roguelike. Like everything was a Metroidvania, everything was a roguelike, right? You know, and I wish that our industry would get the fuck away from just being like categorizing games as this shit that are not that. Like if it had any element of like procedurally generated world and you died and then reset, it was a roguelike. That's not what a roguelike is. That's not what Metroidvania means. Like that's not what that game is. Like, but everything was that, or everything is a survival game. Like how the fuck is Apex Legends a survival game? Like it blew my mind. Dead by Daylight. Like, I mean, I get it's a survivor, like, but that is not a survival game. Like, you know.
I mean, I got nothing wrong with survival games coming back. They've always been dear to my heart. So
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we're having fun.
It's just I'm still like skeptical with the ones that are going to be coming out.
Oh, of course,
especially if they're kind of popping back up, they're going to be trying to follow that trend again.
Yeah. Well, this kind of goes in and opens up to the last kind of thing, and unless there's another topic before we talk about games that we've played or are playing. But Scruff, I think there was one thing that you wanted to. Did you want to talk about this? Oh no, that's the bot thing. Okay, cool. Games we've been playing. We talked a little bit about 7 Days to Die. And we'll answer the question that someone's got. And by the way, guys, get your questions in if you do want to answer or ask some questions about what we've talked about. But there's a game that I've been playing, and I've talked about this game for a long time. It's Lost Ark. And I finally just bellied up and was like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I need to do to play this game. I mean, dude, I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Like, it's a fucking great game. Like, well, okay, it's a very fun game. I don't want to say it's great yet because I have not gotten to end game. I've heard some things about end game that from someone that has not played the game and has only seen some stuff, but I want to go see. I want to go see what the actual end game is. But from like an MMO action RPG, like it nails all of these little things that like I want. Like I love isometric, top-down isometric games like Diablo. It has that loot element. I also like MMOs. It has that element. And it has action combat, and like the dungeons in this game are some of the fucking most fun dungeons that I have ever played in an MMO. And that's including WildStar dungeons. And WildStar dungeons were fucking fun. And they were also hard. And to be fair, the only reason I've not played it for longer is because I wiped my PC. That's the only reason I've not played that game longer. But it's, I don't know, man. Like, I want to ask you if you guys have any questions about it. I don't know if you guys have watched me play it, but like,
I haven't seen enough yet. But like, I don't know. It looks fun. It looks, to me, it looks like what Devilian was trying to be. That game.
I don't think you're wrong. I think Devilian, and I liked what Devilian was going to be.
Devilian, yeah. Right. Like I thought it was fun. I didn't, it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
Like something wasn't right about it.
Man.
Yeah.
Tryon didn't do it right.
I liked what Devilian was trying to do. And the game has classes, right? So you have your tank class, your healer class, your DPS class. They do a very good job of like giving you freedom in how you want to, where you want to take your classes, like class diversity. Because each class, so you start off as like a demon hunter, a warlord, like a mage DPS. There's like 6 or 7 classes, right? And then each class branches off into like 3 or 4 other subclasses that you, it's not really subclasses, but it's the class that you become. Like that's the one you specialize in. So like I went with what was I think it's called a warlord. Fuck, I can't remember what the main class is called. Warlord. But I think Warlord is the secondary class, though. It's not the first class. Anyway,
warrior then.
it's a sword and a shield, or a gun lance. I have a gun lance and I have a shield. And then from there, you get past your tutorial thing, and you get to pick between 4 different classes. One's a paladin. One is like this dude carrying a big fucking sword. One is the gun lance and shield. And,
I gotta say, gun lance, that's fucking sweet,
dude. And that's the thing, man. It's like the abilities in this game, and
they ripped it right out of fucking Monster Hunter World.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying not, but like the abilities in the game and the way the game feels fucking good. Like it just landing these abilities. And the cool thing about this is like, unlike any other action RPG that's out there, where it's just like you're spamming buttons just to spam them and you're just trying to like burn. Like there's a whole element here of like you're trying to juggle someone. You're doing a combo system. Abilities have like I have to hit this one, then I got to hit this one, then I got to hit this one, right? And there's certain abilities that take effect better when something is on the ground versus when they're up in the air, and you can juggle enemies. Like it is more than just like your typical action RPG game, where it's just like I'm gonna face roll these buttons, right? Like you're actually doing like MMO timing of these things. And then on top of that, if you're playing in a group, like you have abilities that are dedicated to, like I said, like normally I am a tank, or I'm a tank class, so I have abilities that are tank based. Not saying that you have to party. Like I've been able to solo majority of the dungeons on the even on like hard and the epic setting. But I think that's because I am a tank in the way that I am able to, like, I can just basically smash my face against it until they're dead. But like there are elements to the game that make it so where again it does exemplify being able to play together and doing it. And they have there are the systems in there, like they have the crafting systems, and actually this is one of the first games in a long time in an MMO that I've actually enjoyed that crafting system. To where you do have a stamina meter, or a meter for it, which I think BDO and you played BDO. I can't speak for BDO, but does BDO have the thing where it's like you can only do a certain amount in a certain time frame before you have to recharge your shit?
No.
I thought you had workers that had to, like, you had to feed.
They have a worker system that you have to feed them, but yeah, as long as you have food for them.
Okay, so they essentially think about the worker system, but you're the character, right? You're the worker. So you have a system and that has a certain amount of points, and you have to recharge them, and they recharge fast enough. The things don't take too long, right? But it's crafting in the world, you could do it very easily. The hunting of the animals is fucking fun. It's just and they have fishing, they have hunting, they have enchanting, they have all of that kind of stuff. Crafting. They have a affinity system, which I'm not too like into, because also I'm playing it in Russian. But I will tell you, it fucking sounds dope in Russian. Like those motherfuckers, they sound mean, bro. Like whenever you get into a fucking fight, the boss is just like, because he's Russian. Like I think he's probably saying "I love you," but it sounds fucking badass because he's fucking like one of the affinity chicks legitimately scares the shit out of me because it's an older lady, and like the way that they dubbed her voice, she sounds like a fucking demon. But like you're trying to like woo her or whatever else to get her to like you, and she's just like, I'm like, all right, man, I don't know.
Of course, she'd be trying to woo an old demon lady.
Yeah, so it's. But anyway, and they've got like, and the map is fucking massive, and they've got boats. I don't know. I could go on and on and on. I could do a whole fucking 2-hour show about this thing. And I really do, man. Like if this game as long as Amazon doesn't fuck it up, dude, just don't fucking touch it. Just like let it come out, let it do its thing. Just fucking bring it over it and localize it. Like I think this game would do fucking gangbusters. Like I understand why people are saying this is like one of the top MMOs and MMO action RPGs, or just not MMO action RPGs, but action RPGs out there. Like I understand it, I get it now, and I wish I would have done the fucking all of the steps that it takes, because it's not that difficult. You just have to have a fucking VPN server, exit lag. It's $18, 3 months. You can do it. Whatever else, the game is free. It's not difficult. It's fucking worth it. It's fucking worth it. Trust me, it's fucking worth it. Like, god damn it, that game is good.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Wildstar
Yeah.
days. Shroff, you playing anything fancy? Oh, we're playing Overwatch too.
Yeah. 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 Like you said, playing Overwatch again. Which I always kind of just go back to Overwatch every, I don't know, a few months or something. This time around, I've been playing it more casually and just like here and there, which I think is why I'm more inclined to sticking with it. I'm not just like burning myself out of it. But I mean, all I really ever do to going back to Overwatch is just playing Hanzo, anyways. I'm a filthy one trick. But I enjoy it. Usually not as much as I used to, but like I still enjoy it for the little things, and I really only enjoy it playing it with other friends. I think it's just a good game to play with friends. It gives you time to just mess around and kind of hang out and stuff. And yeah, I mean that's really all I gotta say about Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch is still just Overwatch.
Yeah, I'll talk about Overwatch when we go to the questions because there's a question in there that's about
Yeah.
Overwatch. So
I mean, other than that though, I've been playing Raft. I think I mentioned that on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, how's
but-
1.0? Well, they're on now. Aren't they on like 1.2 or some shit like that?
I actually don't know.
They just did a new update.
I think so, something like that. But it's still good. I mean, I just found out there's like actual chapters in the game. I didn't know that.
Is there
So,
an end to that game? Like, is there a finale?
If there isn't, I think that's the plan for there to be, kind of like how Forest implemented an end into their game, or like multiple. But I don't know if they'll have multiple in Raft or just one. But yeah, I think that's the plan. So far, it's pretty cool, and it's kind of just fun exploring like this barren sea, kind of discovering the little secrets of like lost civilizations.
You know what's weird is that you mentioned the Forest, and I actually refunded the Forest Enigma. Do you know why?
Did you
Because
buy it?
that game, yeah, I bought it because I was gonna play it, and I was intrigued by it. But you know what?
It's good. Yeah.
Honest to God, what turned me off about it is the story. Like, I don't know. I'm not, and I know you don't have to do it. I know it's stupid. I know. Look, I know. I don't need to be berated for it. I know.
I think the story brought a lot of people back to Forest.
So I get it. Like I said, I don't need to be berated for it. I understand it's a dumb fucking way of thinking, but for whatever reason, it's the same reason I couldn't rent video games when I was a kid. I was like, I can't do it. This is not mine. I don't want to beat it. I don't give a fuck how good it is. It's not my game. I don't want to play it. But I can't play a survival game that has a storyline because I don't know. I don't understand. The same thing I was like, I took Green Hell off my wish list. I was like, there's a story to it. I don't fucking want to play it because it's gonna just try to direct me down there. And I know that the Forest doesn't do that.
You got some fucking mental issues we need to fucking iron out there, bro.
I just don't. I have more. There's some mental block that just tells me if there's a storyline in it, it's not gonna be as good. If it was just like, hey, here you go, play the game, dumped in the world, survive. You're gonna die. I know you're gonna die, but here you go. Like,
if there's anybody that has any professionals that we can get in contact to,
it's sad because
conversation.
Wait.
Listen,
Doesn't Lost Ark have a story to it?
I'm talking about survival game. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about.
but that
I'm not
is
talking
a
about that.
survival game. Aren't you trying to survive against AI?
No.
That's a
You're-
survival
okay,
game.
all right.
Apex is a survival game.
Okay, now you're stretching,
You know,
bro.
I mean,
You're
like,
stretching.
I'm just playing.
Look, I know you guys have talked about, or I know Enigma. Enigma wrote a fucking Steam review. I don't think I've ever seen him write a Steam review except for this is Cyberpunk. That's it.
He's written a few.
That's
yeah.
like two of them that I know is Cyberpunk and this one. But you guys tout The Forest as being a great game. Like,
it is.
I don't know.
I haven't
I don't
played it,
know
but
if I can
from what I've
fucking
seen,
get
it
over
is,
it.
yeah.
Maybe if I can get it on sale for like $4, I'll be like, okay, cool. It's fine. But for whatever reason, that storyline hump just is like,
Fucking weird.
Enigma heard me say it. I was like, why the fuck do I give a fuck about this kid? Like, literally, like, spoiler alert. I mean, the game is fucking old as shit, but you start off on a plane and little Timmy is fucking sleeping on your shoulder or whatever else. And literally, I'm like, get the fuck off me. Like, I do not care about you or whatever else. And the plane crashes and I see Timmy getting taken by this dude. And I'm like, and that's supposed to be my driving force behind the game. I'm like, I don't know. I could care less. Timmy could fucking rot and be eaten and be shat out. Yeah, but it's just like, I'm supposed to care.
You to do the story.
I don't know, man.
There is nothing forcing you to do the story.
The game,
At all.
There's got to be something there. There's got to be something in the world that's pushing me to do that storyline.
It's like story in Destiny. You pick it up as you fucking explore. That's it.
I don't know.
And then if you want to put together the clues that you've picked up throughout your entire time of playing the game, then you can put together the clues, go and save Timmy, and end the game.
Like I
If you
said,
want to.
I get
It's
it.
it's legitimately like Minecraft. You don't have to fucking go and kill the Ender Dragon, but it's there if you want
No, I don't think it's like Minecraft. Minecraft doesn't have like. There's no story in Minecraft.
it. Yes, there is.
No,
I think there actually is.
There is
no.
an ending to fucking Minecraft.
I didn't say
You
there's.
kill
I
the
didn't
Ender
say there's an
Dragon.
ending. I didn't say
You
I
end
don't
the
have an
game.
ending.
All right, well, like it's still as much as like a
It's
real story.
it doesn't have like
like
insanely deep story. Neither does
Yeah.
the forest. Literally, you find Timmy's fucking drawings and piece them together. There's like
I,
six.
I legitimately, if they just would have
Well,
dumped me in the world without
Damon.
having that,
No, it's-
having that fucking like that intro to that game, I probably been like, okay, cool. But the fact that like you introduced me to this kid who I give two shits about.
You got fucking mental issues, bro.
eh.
Anyway, anything else, Scruff, that you've been playing?
No, I think that's about it. I really have not been playing too much recently.
Yeah, Enigma. How about you?
Other than what you mentioned before, we've been playing, Scum. We got into 70 Years to Die, and I actually picked up with my buddies. I've been playing a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic
That game's fun.
off and on.
It's another game. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid.
Rock and stone.
I don't know why.
I mean, it's a waste of time. Like you
Yeah.
can literally go in, do like 2 or 3 maps, and you've wasted 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like it's just a fun, easy way to waste 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mining in space with your
Yeah.
dwarf friends.
Yeah. Scruff, hold on one second. Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, Enigma, but you also played Ultima, bro.
Oh,
For,
Yeah.
for 4
I mean, yeah,
hours. You played Ultima for
literally,
4
I
hours.
I just played that for the memes of it, honestly. Because I mean, all it is like I've seen the streamer that I used to watch a bit more frequent. I'm like, what kind of game is this? I checked it out. I'm like, this looks like RuneScape, but even older. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, that's
This is how far we have fallen as friends.
Yeah.
Is that, like Scruffy will play a 30-year-old fucking
No,
MMO
there's just nothing that I've been interested.
from some dude that he watched back when he was probably like 6.
There's
Yeah.
just no
Oh,
game
holy
recently that I've been interested in, and I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna play this for the memes of it.
He'll
But to
go and
try it,
play
it was
that, but he's like,
actually-
nah,
No,
I ain't
to
playing
try
with
it,
it.
it was
And
actually
then-
pretty fun.
nope.
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
He won't go play 7 Days to Die with us. We had to go play Overwatch with him. Like, this is an
Don't you
abusive
know where you
relationship.
stand? Don't you know where you stand?
Bitch, you only know this shit because of me. Fuck you.
No, sure. What do you mean?
Oh man. Anyway,
But yeah, like I said, just playing a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic. That's really been it, man. Like other than like DayZ, I picked up DayZ and played it for like a minute. and
that's funny.
It's still just as terrible as it was prior.
I feel so
Like,
bad.
I
And
will
then we,
say, the one time recently that I played DayZ standalone, I didn't not enjoy it. It was still DayZ standalone, but I played on a modded server that was on a different map than Chernarus 2. It was called like Deer Isle, and it was like more of like a southern kind of style map, like with bogland and stuff. And I don't know. I
Southern
thought it was
roll.
thought it was kinda cool.
That's kind of what I did. I went and picked up. They just released the Malsk, which if you know what
Yeah,
DayZ is,
The
like
Malsk
DayZ
was
in the past.
Malsk was a great map
The
actually. I
Malsk was
loved
an
that map.
amazing map. The Malsk it was like the map if you enjoyed
That
playing the
was-
stock games.
Yeah, that was one of my top maps, if not.
That was an amazing map. So
Yeah.
I went and checked it out. It's nothing compared to what it was. Like
No.
they did such a terrible job. And I'm not gonna rag on it because it is a mod. It's not from the DayZ
But you
standalone
mean-
development. So I'm sure they'll get it to a point that it's at the same quality as the Mollusk was on the mod. But I think that they're limited by what the actual standalone game is giving you. Like it's not
It's
there
just not
yet.
the same
Well,
feeling, yeah.
what's sad is that you've got to go play a mod of a game to have fun with the game
Yeah.
when it should be the other way around. Like, now I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to have fun with a mod, but the main game should be just as fun, if not more fun, than a mod. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just sad for me to look back on a game that influenced like my gaming
Same.
so heavily from the early 2000 like 10s on into like 2015 2020, right? Like I played I played a shit. Like I don't even want to know how many hours I put into DayZ mod.
Yeah, I mean,
It's probably
original Arma 2 Operation Airhead Daisy mod was it was something about it was just so pure, so good. It was such a good survival game.
Welcome.
there's something to be said about the fact that when it changed hands from Dean Rocket Hall, which was the creator of the mod,
Yeah,
to back to
Bohemian Interactive.
Bohemia,
Yeah,
they just shit on it. They're just like, we don't care about it. We got our money.
yeah.
Fuck off.
Well,
Pretty much.
welcome to where I have been forever with Star Wars Galaxies, because I would say that this, dude, same thing, same thing, exact same thing, literally. SOE fucked over Star Wars Galaxies, and I'm sure we would do the same thing. But SOE, dude, I dumped.
Wildstar.
But no, WildStar. WildStar is a great game. They shaped a lot of stuff. Fuck NCSoft, they can fuck off. But Star Wars Galaxy was that game for me that like I dumped shit. I don't same thing, man. I don't even know, like thousands of hours, like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into that game, and it was just all taken away from me. Like, so yeah, it sucks. And then Bill's not here, but on the next show, Bill will talk about actually one of the key things before, that we'll talk about, and not wait, is he played Resident Evil 8. He played the demo of that. He's got some updates on that. You can go watch his VODs on his channel for Resident Evil to go see that. Not really excited about it. I watched him play it. It looked okay. I didn't get it. I don't understand it. I don't get the whole fucking hype behind it. I don't know.
I haven't been excited for Resident Evil since 5.
I think 7. I think 7 was good. Like Resident Evil 7 was with Biohazard was cool.
I think it was cool, yeah, but I just don't pin it as a Resident Evil game. I think it changed.
I don't think Resident Evil games have been good since Code Veronica. And people are gonna bitch at me and tell me 4. Like 4 was a good game.
I was saying 4 was like the last Resident Evil game. 5 changed it a bit, but I think it was still a good game. To me, 2 will always be Resident Evil. Like
4 was good. I'm not gonna say 4 was bad, right? But 4 to me, not ruined Resident Evil. But one of the things that's iconic to anybody that grew up playing Resident Evil was the camera, and them changing that camera to over the shoulder changed that game drastically to what it was, to something completely different. And it took a lot of fear elements out of it, and it just became a shooter game.
When you would walk through a door unknowing if something was going to jump
fuck,
out,
dude, turning those fucking cameras. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's what made Resident Evil games. But like, unfortunately, like, I don't want to get too big into it, but like, I don't think they could have kept with that style of game in nowadays.
I don't even know how Resident Evil is still a fucking thing nowadays. That's what.
But
it's a big titty goth GF vampire bitch.
I just think it did need to change, but it is still sad to see it go from what it was.
Yeah,
but
100%. So all right, going to questions. We're gonna fire through these questions because we're like 20 minutes over time. So let me get back up here. Hold on one sec.
We also started 20 minutes late, so
we did. So technically we're on. All right, Scruff, both these came from your chat.
Here, well, we got one from that old fat dude, and this is more directed to you guys because you've played it more recently. That is his name, yes. How does 7 Days to Die feel these days? How do you guys think?
It's really good. I remember seeing it. You'd said that when you played it, you felt like it was still clunky. It's still clunky. Like you're never gonna get rid of that clunk from 7 Days to Die just because it is a voxel based. It's just a voxel based game. It's always going to be extremely clunky. But in my opinion, from what it was like 2 to 3 years ago to what it is now, it's made vast improvements, like huge
graphically. They did a huge update with 1.6
graphically and like mechanically too, like some of the physics, but like the clunkiness is still there and will be.
It's not as clunky as it was maybe 2 years ago. I will say that. Like they've smoothed it out quite a bit. It's still got a little bit of jank again.
Digging is weird.
A lot more content, that's for sure.
Yeah. I never played it a long time ago, and I'm just coming to it and playing it, recently. And I mean, I think the game looks fucking phenomenally. I think it looks gorgeous for what that game is. Like if you look at it, there's definitely a beauty to that game, and I don't think it feels. I don't know if clunky is the word. It just
I would say more janky.
it feels like when there's times where like you'll run up and hit like you can find the pattern of like running up, I'm gonna hit something back up, right? But then there's times where like I run up, I go hit something, and I'm like I got hit, and I'm like what the fuck? Or like you'll see a zombie like fucking jump and scale a thing, but then can't crawl over like a fence, like. So there's some stuff there, but I wouldn't say it's any different than some of the other shit that I've seen like in other survival games, like or whatever. So I don't think it feels bad. I think it feels good.
I think for like a zombie survival game, it's one of the better ones out on the market right now.
I will say like I like the way it feels whenever I hit something and I hear that clang or that dunk or whatever else.
The skill system that they've implemented recently
Really
within
good.
like the last like 2 years has like made it extremely fun because you can kind of like make whatever kind of character you want. If you want to make like a melee character, fucking it's great. Like melee is very satisfying. Like he said, there's a certain type of meat to like hitting something with a bat.
Yeah.
Versus like they've got like I love the melee with the fist weapons because you can literally just get in there and duke the fuck out with a bunch of zombies.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I'm a fan of the spears, and I like the bows in the game too.
Yeah,
It's also scary. That game will punish you.
it can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
fucking zombie bears.
And it's got mods. Like it's got full mod support. It's and the mods, some of the like total conversion mods like Darkness Falls, and there's a couple of other ones make the game like insanely cool.
Yep. Scruff, Nice Dog has a question.
Yeah. So Nice Dog 97 asks, so now that Enigma and Sinner are back in Overwatch, how you guys feel about it? And I mean, I wouldn't say you guys are necessarily back. I don't know. Maybe that's me. But what do you guys feel about Overwatch?
You want me to go first?
Hey, go ahead, man.
All right. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say I'm back in Overwatch. I would say that I'm playing it because I want to play with my friends and because Scruffy refuses to play anything else with us.
He hates
But
us now. Some random dude on the internet told us.
100%.
What I will say about the game is that I left and I still think it's there. The game has a problem, in my opinion, when it comes to this, what I call the Mario Kart rubber banding, right? And what it is basically, if you've ever played Mario Kart, if you're in last place, the game will give you shit to make it so like you will have the ability to maybe not place in first, but you'll be able to fucking race it out, right? And actually have, get up there. The same thing happens in Overwatch, in my opinion, where it's just like and I can count it down every single time. Like we'll hold for the first minute, we'll hold for the second minute, we'll get down to like 30 seconds. The team's gonna pop whatever the fucking catch up, whatever it is. They're gonna pop their shit, their ultis, whatever. They're gonna have something go off that just feels real weird, and all of a sudden, boop! It's like, oh, the game's going again. Like, oh, they have a chance now. They're pushing it forward, whatever else. Also, their map design and a lot of the or some of these maps are fucking trash.
Yeah, I will say the new maps, ever since I think Oasis was our last like good map. Ever since that, like they've released some, I don't know, not so par maps. Like they've just not done good
They're
with the
unbalanced.
maps.
Yeah.
They're
Like a
unbalanced,
lot of them
very
are unbalanced, and it's
Yeah.
like if you start, like there was one that we were doing the other day. It was that one that we literally just got thrashed in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're talking about that was
the one that we couldn't push.
No.
The one that we
That's the
couldn't
Paris
push,
one.
we would go through that doorway and they were just chilling on that fucking first point.
It's Paris.
It's ridiculous. Like we sat there for like what, like 20 minutes maybe trying to fucking push that first fucking.
Well, you can't. I mean, yeah, you can't do. But you spent a long time
on some maps. Is just either the choke points are too much of a choke point. It's just you can't get through.
What I'll say about and the other side of it, but I will say is that the game from an arcadey shooter or like super arcadey shooter, it feels good. Like I feel like there are some elements in that it feels good to hit someone, to kill someone. There's some champions that I think are bullshit. Hanzo is one of them. It's fucking crap.
Whoa!
No,
just
fuck you, bro. It's
you every time. Doesn't mean Hanzo's crap. That just means
that mechanic that you can just be headshotted and in one shot be done and down in a game that's like I'm gonna pump lead into you.
His ulti is like the size of the fucking map. It's ridiculous.
Okay, he might be a little broken.
A little
bit, But I'm not saying there's other heroes that aren't. There's a lot of other heroes that are.
Oh yeah,
are
I mean,
definitely-
I don't know of any other hero that has an ulti that's like the size of the fucking.
no, but like you have something like I think Junkrat or whatever else. It's like his ulti
Yeah.
is bullshit to me.
I will say that, like
Maze,
his ulti,
Sigmas.
his ulti, fucking what's her name?
Divas.
Divas, yeah,
Yeah.
with her fucking
Sigmas.
explosive.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have those mass area of control ultis.
So yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I say like, and I'm actually playing it solo in ranked queue, which is probably the fucking worst thing to ever fucking do.
Yeah, that too. You're playing it alone. You're solo queuing.
Yeah, but I
bro.
don't. But I actually, when it's not something that's turned me off. Like I don't mind. I would rather solo queue in that than solo queue in fucking League. Like, no, they ain't no. They ain't no. I don't know, bro. You can't. You don't get to speak about League. You don't play enough League.
In anything. No, solo queuing in any game for me. I don't do. I won't because it's just the team that you're paired up with. I feel like you need communication, and there's just a lot of times there's a lot of miscommunication.
Well, that's what I'm actually surprising to find is in Overwatch, at least the ranks that I'm in, there's actually a lot of communication. I'm actually very surprised at how much communication is in that game, but the community is still shit.
Yeah, it's better than at least League.
Yeah, League is fucking trash, dude. It's fucking shit. So, but yeah, Enigma, I don't know what are your thoughts on it? I mean, I know you only played like 1 or 2 games, but what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way as you, Scruffy. Like I like playing with you guys, but I don't think that I would play it unless I had like friends playing it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's my only go-to.
I think that what they did with the forcing you to have like a tank,
I think that's smart,
and a healer and a DPS.
No,
that was a good option.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's smart.
And, I think they needed it, but other than that, yeah, I completely agree with you. That there's certain aspects to it where I'm like, there's maps that are completely imbalanced. There's characters that are way too overpowered.
Like to me, if I was going to play a game like that, if I had a choice between that style of game, I'd rather go play Valorant. I don't know. I would just because to me, like the characters are more balanced, the weapons are more balanced, or not weapons, but the actually side of that. But the maps are way more balanced.
The maps, yeah. I mean, the maps,
those
that comes from a CS:GO standpoint of maps.
Yeah, so I was about to say, I think the Valorant, it doesn't appeal to me because of the fact that they tried to go too far down the CS:GO route.
Yeah, I don't know,
but it's not bad. It's all right. I mean, it would not be something I'm going to go out of my way to be like, oh, fucking Overwatch is back.
Too.
Yeah, so
it's definitely fun. I enjoyed playing with you guys the other day, but I definitely suck at it. I'm not very good. I've never been very good at shooters, so it's like
he is a healer that doesn't heal, and DPS is the shit out of everything.
I use that more because I just gotta hold down fucking right click and it just.
I'm literally as fucking Reinhardt up in the fucking shit, which I'm supposed to be, but like I'm way up in the fucking shit, and Enigma is beyond me, and I'm like, bro, you're fucking nuts, dude. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, but I get plays, bro.
Yeah. No. Nobody gets play of the game because Scruffy steals them all.
That's true.
Which I will give you. You know what, Scruff? Credit where credit's due. Your Hanzo is ridiculous. I give him credit,
he gets
man.
plays in the game, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, his Hanzo's
you want to know why he gets that?
because he steals everyone's skills.
Everybody else's
Yeah,
kills.
so 100%. I deal so much fucking damage, and then he fucking comes in and just like, boop. So.
But they're all dinks. You hear the dinks?
Yeah, I hear no dinks. All I hear is kills stolen.
Nice dog's got the healing for me. I can be the DPS. He can be the healer.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, that wraps up all of our questions, guys, and girls, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know we started a little bit late and behind, but we had some technical issues. But we got that taken care of, and obviously we were a man down. So we weren't full strength and technically 2 men down because Enigma piled through it. And I gotta say, man, I give so much credit to Enigma.
I'm having a hard time breathing right now.
We opted to try to do the podcast, even though we all were kind of like Enigma. No, this man was just like absolutely not. We've already pushed it back once for before the last one.
If I die, I died for my trade, guys.
So
you're a trooper, man.
So he went on
more than anything though. Just like feel better and as well as your family. I hope everyone feels better.
But
we're slowly getting better. So
yeah, put all the good vibes